crowd filing in. Should be a good one on a Thursday night, and we're looking forward to it. I hope you are too. And again, we have all the Frontenac games home and away on 103.5 FM, and we stream the contest live at ESPN1007.com. Now, earlier this week, Trent Kling talked with Colgan head coach Sean Seamatter, and earlier this morning I talked with Frontenac coach Mark Smith. We'll be back with both those conversations after we take a 2-minute break, and you're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
Watco Companies has been a member of the Pittsburgh community since 1983. Now a national freight transportation provider, Watco serves customers in 26 states by offering transportation, mechanical, and transload services. Whether transporting potatoes from Idaho, replacing rail cars in Iowa, or transloading rock in Alabama, Watco will never forget their roots because there's no place like home. Watco supports Pittsburgh community athletics and wishes all area teams the best of luck.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Now accepting new clients. At the Pet Care and Surgery Center, Dr. James Clark believes all of our pets deserve kind, humane, and loving treatment. From a simple checkup or rabies vaccination to performing major surgery. Plus, Dr. Clark has boarding, grooming, nutrition, and wellness checkups. Dr. James Clark can provide that loving member of your family with the treatment they deserve. Call 620-308-6454 to set up an appointment or simply visit petcarecenter.org. Pet Care and Surgery, making a difference.
Trent Kling back, joined by Sean Seamatter, head coach of the St. Mary's Colgan Panthers. Got his first win as head coach of the Panthers last week. This week, of course, it's on to Frontenac. Before we can start talking about Frontenac, though, a quick recap of last week. One of the things we talked about in the postgame, the rushing attack for you guys. You had 4 different rushers over 65 yards in that contest. How pleasing was it for you to look down there and note so many different guys getting into the ground game?
It is very pleasing. I think it speaks volumes to the different weapons we have and the different guys that we can get involved in the growth that we've shown from week 1 to week 2.
One of the things that you've discussed about this team, really from the start of the season to now, is the fact that they do have a fairly high football IQ. You've got a lot of kids who have played football all 4 years in high school. In that first half, they took a few penalties, offsides, false start penalties, that type of thing. They really curtailed it in the second half. Was that a function of you and the coaching staff talking to them about that, or was that almost internalized amongst the leadership group?
I think some of both. We got on pretty good at halftime about that small stuff, and we harp on that quite a bit during the week of being disciplined and not making mistakes. And like I said, we ripped on them pretty good at halftime about those small things. And so I think it was partly that, but at the end of the day, it still comes down to them making those adjustments. And they did a good job of cleaning that stuff up in the second half.
Another aspect of that football IQ comes into play with the offensive line. Anytime you have over 300 rushing yards, the O-line is doing work. In terms of picking up blocking schemes and executing a little bit more like the coaching staff wants to see, how would you grade out the offensive line through 2 games?
Improving, very much improving. That first week was a little rough. We were going against a really, really, really solid team, and first game action they've had where somebody's hitting back like that, and it was much improved week 2, and not only just in week 2, but as the game went on in week 2, I felt like we got better and better, and really saw some good things, especially late in the fourth quarter. I felt like our execution up front was as good as it had been all year.
We're talking with Sean Seamatter, head coach of the St. Mary's Colgan Panthers, going into their game against Frontenac Thursday night in Pittsburgh. So let's talk about that game now. You've had every practice you're going to have before that contest. What were some of the things you guys keyed on while you had them in practice working there?
One thing we've already mentioned, discipline, cutting out those penalties and those mistakes, the turnovers and just the small penalties that kill drives. So really focused on that, and then just execution. Like I said, doing the small things right and doing our job, each person doing their own job.
As far as the Frontenac Raiders are concerned, since Mark Smith took over, they've been spreading out the ball a little bit more. You have a few more wide formations than you had in the past with Frontenac. As you look at them on tape, how does their offense look this year?
Good. Really solid. They do a lot of things that can cause trouble, and a lot of things that we have to prepare for. So we really got to be on our toes and make sure we're getting lined up tomorrow. They've got some good athletes in skill position and some good kids up front. So if we're not playing assignments on football and getting lined up right, they're going to take advantage of it.
Against a team like Frontenac that'll give you some different looks, give you some different fronts on offense, just how crucial is it to make sure your players are where they're supposed to be at the snap?
Huge. Because they run so many different formations, like we've been telling our kids, they're everything they do is for a purpose, I'm sure. They're in certain formations to set other formations up and try to outflank you and just outplaying you. So it's very important. We preach all the time, alignment and assignment. Make sure you're getting lined up right and doing your job. And that's where film study comes in so big. Our kids getting into film and recognizing that stuff.
Defensively, what looks are you seeing from the Raiders on film?
Their standard 4-man front, a little bit of 5-man front against Colgan last week. So nothing we haven't seen yet, but again, they're solid all the way around. So if we don't come out and execute, they're going to take advantage of it.
And as we wrap it up here, 2 games into the season again, is there a player or maybe a couple of players to this point that have stepped up in game action or even in practice that have either surprised or impressed you or the coaching staff?
It's hard to pin it down to just 2. 2 that really stick out, not necessarily have been surprises, but Max Wilson and Jeremiah Bush have been unbelievable defensively. And then Jer at the safety. Not necessarily a surprise to see them performing well, but they've been playing really, really well.
That's Sean Seamatter, head coach of the St. Mary's Colgan Panthers. They're 1-1. Frontenac's 1-1, and we'll have countdown to opening kickoff continuing after this break on the pregame show. You're listening to high school football on the MyTown Media Radio Network.
Does your current checking account pay you up to $15 per month? With Common Sense Checking at University Bank, you can earn up to $15 per statement cycle, 10 cents for each swipe after the first 15 swipes. Qualifying is so easy. Simply have one direct deposit or auto payment plus 15 debit card purchases each statement cycle and a $100 opening deposit. Stop by the bank for more information about our Common Sense Checking. Then swipe and save. It's convenience that pays at University Bank. Branch GMB. Member FDIC.
Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing can tow all cars, trucks, and some semi-tractors and trailers in town or cross country. Larry Barrett has emergency wrecker service for all accidents, 24-hour towing. Been in an accident? Then call the pros. They have quality auto body repairing and painting from certified technicians for all major and minor repair jobs, and they can deal directly with the insurance companies, taking the stress out of your life. Go to barrettbodyframe.com or stop in and see them at 1601 East 27th Street Terrace or call 232-9400. That's Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing. Customer service first. See them fast in names and numbers.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins with SEK Urgent Care. When you're sick, when you're injured, or when you just don't feel like yourself, SEK Urgent Care is here for you. Let our skilled providers treat your non-life-threatening illness or injury at a fraction of the time and cost of an ER visit. Located at the corner of Centennial and Broadway in the Meadowbrook Commons. Open 7 days a week for your convenience. SEK Urgent Care, where your family and time matter. Find us fast in names and numbers.
Marone's Food Service Incorporated wishes the best of luck to all area athletic teams this season. It has been their pleasure to provide great quality food products to area schools, colleges, and universities in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Marone's Food Service is proud to be a fourth-generation family-owned and operated business with over 80 years of service to their customers, employees, families, and communities. Good luck to all area teams from Marone's.
Joining me is Frontenac Raiders head coach Mark Smith. And Coach, your Raiders fall to 1-1. Tough loss at Galena, 28-21, and boy, it was a battle.
It was definitely a battle. Give credit to Galena. I thought they played a very, very strong game on both sides of the ball. They were the more aggressive team. They didn't make penalties. They didn't make turnovers. They were just the better team last Friday night, and hopefully our kids learn from it. I thought we played pretty well in the second half, but you can't get down 21 points going into the fourth quarter against a good Galena team and expect to come back and win. But hopefully they learn from their mistakes and we'll play a lot better this week.
And, of course, you went through a scoreless first quarter, kind of a slugfest. Did get the lead, but after you got the lead on a pretty nice drive, that kickoff return, momentum swung right there.
Yeah, momentum's a big thing. It's crazy how that kickoff return just gave them the momentum right back after a good drive by our offense. And we got back on our heels a little bit in that second quarter on defense. I think we were a little tired as well, but we got to work on our body language and just fight through that. And our defense just got to pick up our offense when they're struggling after a turnover, after 3 and outs. And we just couldn't get a rhythm on offense early on Friday. And they got it rolling that second quarter and put up 20 on us. So we just got to nip that in the butt and just keep playing one play at a time. And hopefully we can play a little better on all 3 phases of the game.
And as we talked after the game, you fall behind like that, you kind of hold your breath. What's the response going to be? And the kids made a run at them.
Yeah, at halftime I said, this is not going to happen unless you believe you can come back. I know we didn't complete the whole comeback, but they played extremely hard. I thought our defense played really, really well for the entire second half, except for that one drive they scored on. But our offense finally got it clicking on a pass to Alex Johnson at the beginning of the fourth quarter. And then Trey Harris had a tremendous onside kick where he got it and just executed that perfect. And I was just hoping we'd execute like that on offense. But defense kept giving us chances. We just couldn't get in the end zone one more time.
And you knew going in you were undersized. I think they got a little worn down, but after watching the video, it looked like some of the instances was just kind of blown coverage on them. Maybe it was a little deceptive. They weren't getting overwhelmed. It was just missed assignment.
No, that's what I kind of told the kids, too. Galena deserved to win, and they beat us, and they did their job to win, but I don't think we did our job to give ourselves a chance to win. We had a lot of mental mistakes up front. They were giving us a few different looks that we hadn't been ready for, which is a good job by their coaching staff. But our kids were just a little pressure got to them, and we just didn't handle the situation very well. So we practiced hard on those situations this week, and you just got to know your assignment, know your rule for the running play. And we got to be better on first down because we were starting in second and 12, second and 13 a lot, and that makes it a little harder to move the chain. So we got to win first down on both sides of the ball this week.
And tonight, the short trip to Hutchfield in Pittsburgh, take on the Colgan Panthers, a team similar 1-1, and that loss coming against Galena. And, of course, a new coach there, Sean Seamatter. And you've had a couple of games where you've got to watch some video. What do you see from the Panthers?
I really believe Colgan will keep getting better every week with Coach Seamatter. Putting in his new offense. Every week they get gelling with it, the veer. They're just going to get more used to it, keep running it better and better. Very good on defense. I thought Max Wilson was the best player on both sides of the ball, runs extremely hard. You have to block him on defense because he'll make a tackle. Good safety receiver. Cade Simmons playing quarterback very well. So Coach Seamatter is doing a great job with them. So it's going to be a normal Frontenac Colgan game. It's a team that's going to be more physical and not turn the ball over. It's probably going to win the game.
And again, like I said, they opened with a 16-0 loss at Galena, then came back, knocked off Baxter Springs 31-15. Good contest watching that video. And, I know, like I said, you went into our first game against Girard with Neil Philpott. You didn't really have anything to go on, but now you have some video to see maybe what the Panthers are going to do.
Yeah, we just got to be sound on defense. Their main plays on the veer. They'll do some other things, toss and some quick games to Bush on the outside. But we just got to be very fundamentally sound on defense. Everybody's got a job to do and just got to go do it and make tackles. And so I told our kids on the film, we got the playmakers. We just got to start making plays on both sides of the ball. And Colgan's going to test us with our discipline, which will be good to see if we can just be patient and trust each other and just make plays.
What about health-wise? How you doing?
Last Friday night I was a little nervous how we'd come out of the Galena game because it was a pretty physical game. But Brennan Ishimura's had a little bruise, and he'll be good to go. And I think Cal had a little sprain, so I think we're still 100% going for week 3, which is great to see, and that's what we need to be to have success.
Coach, thanks for talking with us. Good luck at Colgan, and we'll talk to you after the game.
Hey, thanks, Rob.
If you're in the mood for shopping, visit Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. Pittsburgh's original one-stop shopping center has a lot to offer. A great variety of clothing and shoes for the whole family, a large selection of gifts, sporting goods, events, and entertainment, plus terrific places to eat, and you can enjoy the newest movies in 8 theaters. Shop the comfortable and convenient atmosphere at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. There's always something happening at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall.
Advanced technology, comprehensive quality care. That's Canar Eye Care. We have the newest technology, but we never lose sight of what's most important, our patients. Eye care has changed dramatically in recent years, and we've been there for you every step of the way. At Canar Eye Care, patients spend time with doctors. Total eye care from contact lenses, including bifocal contacts, treatment of disease, and surgical co-management. Canar Eye Care, the clear choice.
Find them fast in names and numbers. Jocksnitch has all your hometown needs to get you geared up for the football game. New Pitt State gear has already arrived, such as hats, tees, sweatshirts, license plates, koozies, even tees for your dog. We are your stop to make before headed to town. There's only one destination. There's only one gear headquarters. Jocksnitch Sporting Goods. Check us out in downtown Pittsburgh and Park.
You got the sports look of the day. Sporting goods from Jocksnitch.
Rob Strand, Randy Southard back at Hutchison Field at Pittsburgh, nearing kickoff of the CNC League battle between the Frontenac Raiders and the Colgan Panthers. The Colgan Panthers out, ready for the start of the kickoff on the near or home sideline, waiting the Raiders coming out. And again, going to be a warm one. Should be an interesting contest. A couple of teams 1-1, and again, both lost to Galena at Galena. And Panthers knocked off Baxter Springs last week, and the Raiders opened with a win over the Girard Trojans. And with the starting lineups, here's Randy Southard.
For the Frontenac Raiders, starting on offense at center, junior Kobe Maples. The 2 guards, senior Dylan Toll and senior Nathan Kaufman. The 2 tackles, senior Trey Harris and senior Cal Strand. The starting tight end is senior Zach Roseborough. The 2 receivers, senior Brock Ginnivan and junior Brendan Ishimura. Starting fullback is senior Cooper Loy. Starting tailback, senior Jake Wilbert. And the starting quarterback is senior Peyton Brown. On the defensive side for the Colgan Panthers, at linebacker, Luke Orender, Cal Marquardt, Jacob Delasega, Max Wilson. The 2 defensive ends, Cade Simmons and Sam Green. The 2 defensive tackles, Garrett Bollinger and Garrett Evans. The 2 cornerbacks, Connor Price and Whit Dungan. And the starting free safety, Jeremiah Bush.
So the starting lineups for this CNC League battle between the Frontenac Raiders and the Colgan Panthers. And again, a nice crowd on a Thursday night. Actually, we usually play on a Thursday when Pittsburgh's at home, but the Purple Dragons travel over to Webb City to take on the Cardinals tomorrow night. So that gives you opportunity to go over and watch that one if you like good football. And you can enjoy this one like in the olden days when they used to play about every other Thursday night. And we'll be back with some keys to the game after we take a 2-minute break. 2 minutes. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
At Lindbergh Pharmacy, we care about your health. From a qualified and caring staff to services like our Time My Meds and MedPack programs, Lindbergh Pharmacy provides personalized service you can count on. Refill prescriptions online at lindberghpharmacy.com or on your smartphone with our free Lindbergh Pharmacy mobile app. You can also sign up for our text alert program, and we'll text or email you when your prescription is ready. Can't make it to us? We'll deliver your medications right to your door. Lindbergh Pharmacy, now 2 locations to serve you.
When you get engaged and need to pay for the wedding, when you have a baby and need to start that college savings account, it seems like the best moments in life can come with some real financial challenges. What's yours? At Commerce Bank, we find solutions so you can focus on enjoying life. Visit us online at commercebank.com or at a branch near you. Commerce Bank, challenge accepted. Member FDIC.
And our national anthem from Hutchison Field in Pittsburgh as we near kickoff of this CNC League battle. The Frontenac Raiders and the Colgan Panthers. And again, like we mentioned, both teams at 1-1. And well, we need a big game here to get a victory, get some momentum heading into week 4. And what are some of the keys in tonight's game between the Raiders and the Panthers?
Well, I think for the Frontenac Raiders tonight offensively, the offensive line's got to play better. Last week against a big Galena team, struggled in some facets of the game. You know, a lot of times got the line blocked, but didn't necessarily get the linebackers and safeties blocked. Tonight they've got to do a much better job in controlling the offensive line, establish that run. That will set up the passing on the outside. I do think Colgan's corners are a little susceptible if you can get them in one-on-one. Bush is very good at free safety, flies all over the football field, and if you can get his focus away from that outside receiver, I think you can do some good on the Colgan cornerback. So look for the offensive line, get that running game going, then look to pass. Defensively for Frontenac, it's going to be assignment football tonight. Colgan going back to the old Veer offense, option football. So you've got to know your assignment, who's got the dive, who's got the quarterback, who's got the pitch. Play that assignment football, and they really need to tackle very well. Last week against Baxter, Baxter missed a lot of tackles, or you could look at it as Colgan broke a lot of tackles, either way, and that's how a lot of their big plays occurred against Baxter last week. So Frontenac, when they get a chance to get somebody on the ground, they need to be able to make one-on-one tackles, or at least slow them down where the rest of everybody else can come and finish them off. For Colgan, it's up front. They've got to be able to run the ball out of that Veer offense effectively. I've noticed, Max Wilson is probably their best player in the backfield, and he hasn't really touched the ball as much as I would expect. I think tonight they're going to try to get the ball to Wilson, whether it's on the pitch, whether it's a sweep. They'll run some power eye as well and have a big lead play, have 2 lead blockers. But I think Wilson's going to be a big part of Colgan's offense tonight. For Colgan defensively, again, control that line of scrimmage, and if they can make some double teams, it'll free up Wilson to make tackles from linebacker position. He's very good at reading a play and reacting. Let him make plays and let Bush make plays. The one thing about Bush, though, he does like to come up quick against the run. Play action can give him a little bit of a problem, but he's very fast, very quick, so he might still be able to react to it.
So there are some of the keys to tonight's battle between Frontenac and Colgan on this Thursday night, a warm Thursday. See how conditioning plays into this. We had a few cramps last week down at Galena, and we'll see how that goes. I know they've been working on the conditioning, but then again, you get the short work week, so to speak, as you head into that Thursday contest. The good thing is you get an extra week for next week.
Right, and I do think Frontenac's deeper up front in particular. Colgan has just a handful of kids that play both ways. They've also got injuries. They've got 2 seniors and a junior that normally would be playing a lot tonight that are not dressed. They've really been hit by injury bug. So, the advantage of depth should be to Frontenac's advantage, and we'll see if they can wear Colgan down in the second half.
And the captains out at the center of the field for the St. Mary's Colgan Panthers, Bryce Hutchins, who's injured, Jeremiah Bush, Max Wilson, and Sam Green. For the Frontenac Raiders, they have Brock Ginnivan, Peyton Brown, along with Jordan Ishimura and Cal Strand, and White Hat talking to him, to the captains, and they'll do the coin toss, and we'll see who's going to have the football first. And again, trying to see, not much of a breeze either, so they're not going to break that way either. It's going to be hot and humid, and maybe cooling off as the sun goes down a little bit. But boy, Thursday night, nice crowd. Seems like the old days when Frontenac and Colgan played the last Thursday of every year.
Yes, I remember those days very well, and back when they really meant something. Now it's can help determine league. Back then it was determining playoff, who was going to play in the playoffs and who wasn't. But still a big game, and I think it should be a really good football game tonight. I think they're pretty well matched, especially up front.
And talking to some of the assistants, Colgan, they are banged up. They lost players not necessarily last week, but against Galena in the opener. And the Colgan Panthers win the toss. They defer. So the Raiders, I'm assuming, will take the football to start the contest. And then Colgan will be able to decide what they're going to defend. Well, the Raiders will take the football and defend the east goal here at Hutchfield in the first quarter. The Panthers will defend the west end zone as we head into tonight's contest, and the Raiders are going to be going into the sun here early on.
You mentioned some of the injuries for Colgan, and against Galena, the sixth play of the game, their quarterback gets injured, so they end up putting what was going to be their starting fullback at quarterback, and really kind of went very basic veer plays in that game against Galena. Last week, with another week of practice under his belt at quarterback, they opened things up a little bit more. They did a little bit of power eye. They did a little bit out of the shotgun, kind of spread formation type stuff. So, improving there. They've also lost their starting fullback. They've replaced him with a freshman, but this freshman is gigantic as fullback. The Raiders will have to really try to take him a little low, to make sure they get on the ground. Because if in the veer, if you get that dive back rolling, boy, then you can do anything you want to. So you've got to stop the dive first.
Raiders in the visiting white jerseys with black helmets, black pants, and black numerals. And the Panthers in their home blue jerseys with blue helmets, white pants, or gray pants, and the white numerals and trim. And we're ready for some football. And should be a good one as the Raiders and the Panthers going to hook up on a warm night at Hutchfield in Pittsburgh. Back to receive the kick for the Frontenac Raiders drops Brant Chance. He's also back there with Jake Wilbert and also Alex Johnson to receive the kick.
Well, I'd say the new helmets for Colgan, they went kind of more the light blue like the jerseys, and it's going to take a little while to get used to it. It's so used to seeing that dark blue for the helmet, so it just looks a lot different out there.
Luke Orender to tee it up at the 40-yard line, and I'm sure the front five been cautioned about the onside kick to start things off. The Raiders had a successful one against Galena last Friday.
And they've done some pooch kicking. They've even done some squib kicking. He will kick it deep on occasion as well, but be ready for anything on the kickoff.
So we're ready. Luke Orender approaches. He pops one up, and taking it on the far sideline is Ryan Rayo. He's out across the 40, still on his feet, and he is hemmed in and brought down. Big scrum out about the 43-yard line. Nice effort by Rayo.
Yeah, good job. And, that's the danger with that pooch kick. You kick it short. He caught the ball on the 30. It's only 10 or 12-yard return, and we're out past the 40. So it's giving up some field position, but it's also protecting against a bigger return.
Raiders start 1st and 10 from their own 43-yard line. The quarterback will be Peyton Brown. He's a senior, first-year starter under center. The fullback is Cooper Lloyd. The tailback is Jake Wilbert. Ron Ginnivan in the slot wide left. Also a single receiver out there, Ishimura. Ginnivan in motion left to right. And there's a give to the tailback, Wilbert, and he is hemmed in, brought down, stopped for maybe a gain of a yard. Now they're actually not going to give him anything. I thought they, oh boy, at least had a yard out of that, and evidently not.
Well, I thought the initial blocking was pretty good by the line, but they didn't stay on the man. Wilson initially blocked, did a great job using his hands coming off that block to fill the hole quickly. I was a little surprised they opened running right at Wilson's side. I thought they might take on Orender instead, but Wilson made a nice play.
2nd and 10, Raiders from their own 43-yard line. Brown out of the gun, motion right to left goes Loy, takes the handoff. There's a pass batted and a diving attempt, and Ginnivan came up with it, was able to pick up about 4 yards on a batted pass.
Yeah, the defensive end knew he wasn't going to be able to get to the quarterback, did a good job of reading it and jumped, timed it just right. Ginnivan, good reaction. And I do think Peyton Brown took a bit of a shot, had Max Wilson on a blitz right up the middle.
So 3rd and 7, Raiders from their own 46-yard line.
I think you might see that a lot tonight when it looks like it's more of an obvious passing situation. I think you'll see Wilson blitzing a lot.
Ginnivan wide right, joined out there by Wilbert, also Ishimura. Out of the gun, Brown with the blocking back. Loy, they're faking, going long, puts it up for grabs, double teamed as Wilbert, and it's overthrown. Pass ball's incomplete.
Well, they tried to get that fake the quick hitter and send somebody deep, and Colgan would have none of it. Both Bush at free safety and the corner were sinking deep. Nowhere really to throw. Lucky that pass wasn't picked off.
And the punting situation for the Raiders, dropping back to receive the kick for the St. Mary's Colgan Panthers is Max Wilson, as he's back about the 25-yard line. There's had a little confusion much of the time last week at Galena, getting the proper personnel in there. Good snap. Oh, he's pressured, blocked, and is picked up, and starting the other way was, I believe that's Della Sega came down with it, and he's tackled at the 35. Just good snap, just took too long to get the punt away.
Well, and they had 2 guys coming off of the edge, and only one up back, in front of the punter to take on 2 guys. Blocked one of them, but wasn't able to block them both, and I think it was Cal Marquardt that got the block. So a big play early for the Colgan Panthers.
So 1st and 10, Panthers. They'll start from their own 36-yard line as block punt gives them excellent field position, turns the field over. The quarterback is Cade Simmons. The tailback, single setback, is Max Wilson. Slot to the left is Connor Price. Wide to the left is De La Sega. Pitch, sweep to the left side, and that is Wilson, and he is brought down by Wilbert and chased by Ginnivan and stopped. Actually, looks like he lost a yard.
Well, good penetration by Ginnivan getting up the field. The sweep gets outside of him, but that's really okay. Not his job for outside contain. Coming up from the safety position, Wilbert did a real nice job turning back in. They both get in on the tackle.
2nd and 11 for the Panthers from the Raiders' 37-yard line. Running backs out of the I formation. And there's the dive. Keeping it as Simmons. He's hemmed in and avoids a couple of tacklers and fights his way down to the 31, a pickup of 6.
Well, this is a good job by Simmons, and it's almost unlucky for the Raiders because they stoned this play. It's veer to the right. They stoned the fullback. He had absolutely nothing, and they got so much penetration that the quarterback, he kept it properly, but he had no place to go down the line. Frontenac was across the ball so much. Did a good job of trying to reverse his field and found a hole.
3rd and 5, Panthers from the Raiders' 31-yard line. Wide to the left is Whit Dungan. 3 running backs behind the quarterback. Simmons gives to the tailback Wilson. Boy, not much there as he is stopped by a host of tacklers in there. Trying to see as they unpile who is amongst them. There's Ginnivan in there, Strand. Who else will come out of there?
Yeah, Ginnivan's the one that makes the play. Again, excellent penetration, using his hands very well, gets some penetration, gets to the ball carrier, avoiding all the blockers that are coming at him. And a real nice play by Ginnivan slowing him up, and everybody else comes and piles on.
4th and 5, Panthers from the Raiders' 31-yard line.
Now, Bush is their favorite receiver for Colgan, so look for Bush to possibly get this. I don't see Marquardt. He's the other guy they normally like to throw to, so either I would expect Bush or a screen.
Split to the wide to the right. A fumble, and the ball's loose, and in any event, the ball's going to go over on downs.
Yeah, never got the snap. Didn't look like he'd come out quite. I think he may have come out just a little bit early trying to get out from underneath center. Never got the ball. It falls down. Doesn't matter who recovers it since it was 4th down. So the Raiders come up with a big defensive stop after the block punt. Could have been a disaster start. Instead, the defense steps up and the Raiders will take over.
1st and 10, Frontenac. Raiders will start outside their own 30-yard line. Coming wide to the right side is Brendan Ishimura. Slot left, that's Ginnivan out of the gun. Brown option left side, pitches to Wilbert, and he's cut down back at about the 28-yard line, loss of a couple. Nice defensive effort, and I believe that was Marquardt.
Absolutely, coming up quickly from that safety position. It's like an outside linebacker, read it very well, came up quickly, and some penetration by that defensive line for Colgan forced the pitch probably a little earlier than what Brown wanted to.
2nd and 12 Raiders from their own 29-yard line. This time, the running back's in the eye with Lloyd, the fullback. The tailback is Wilbert. There's the give. Wilbert left side. He bowls over a couple of tacklers, fights his way out near the 33-yard line for a nice game.
Yeah, good hard run by Wilbert that time and had a little bit of a crease. Linebacker got to him, though, and that's what slowed him down.
The Raiders face a 3rd and 7. Football resting just outside their own 33-yard line with 7:35 left here. Rapidly moving first quarter, no score. Wide to the right, Ginnivan. Wilbert joins him out there, and also Ishimura once again. Lloyd, the blocking back, and some movement, and they didn't let him get set.
Nope. No, and Wilbert, as he was running out, was kind of adjusting his uniform, it looked a little bit, and Brown didn't look over to make sure he was set. And they called the false start penalty.
So that'll move the Raiders back 5, where they'll face a 3rd and 12 from their own 28-yard line.
And this is a game where the Raiders really want to try to stay ahead of the sticks, getting good down and distance situations. You know, the first drive started off with a 0 play on first down, so you're kind of behind on the sticks. This one lost a 2 on the first play of the drive. You're behind on the sticks. Not how Frontenac wants to play offense.
Brown out of the gun. Lloyd, the blocking back to his left side. Couple of wideouts left, 2 to the right. Now that's another penalty flag.
Another false start.
Procedure, and that means
it was on the offensive line. I'm not sure, exactly who it was, but just to me, that's lack of concentration.
3rd and 17 Raiders from their own 23-yard line now, so going the wrong way. See what you can come up with this and get it more manageable here. Wide left goes Ishimura. Get in to the right side, and there's a give, and that is Wilbert. Boy, he stopped after gain of only a couple, so another punting situation.
Boy, he almost lost the ball. It just got the handoff, and it looked like Sam Green, the senior lineman, got in there on him quick, almost knocked the ball out. Probably a little lucky that didn't result in a turnover.
Again, Wilson drops back for the Panthers, stands back inside his own 45-yard line. Another punting situation. This time Marquardt to the right side. Good snap. And the punt is away. Nice punt. Wilson takes it over his right shoulder. Block in the back. Oh, he didn't
They are calling. Oh, my goodness.
And he's brought down at the 41-yard line. Oh, my gosh. Well, there is a penalty where the tackle was made, but wow.
There's not many more obvious blocks in the back that you will ever see, and I cannot believe that there's no flag on that.
There is at the end of the run. Now that is, well, is that, maybe they did get it.
Maybe they did, and the FAR official threw the flag rather than the official that was
Through
5 feet away from it.
Concerned about the beanbag where the ball was caught in the return, but well, that's what those just didn't look good. You know what I'm saying? It's early. It's only their 3rd game.
Okay.
No comment. 1st and
No
10 for
comment.
the Panthers. They'll start at their own 30-yard line, so they'll change the field position. Again, Cade Simmons, the quarterback, out of the gun. Wilson, the single, blocking back with him. Motion right to left goes Bush. Low snap, and Simmons is rushed, and he is hemmed in, brought down by about 4 Raider tacklers.
Yeah, Mays and Roseboro getting in real quick, and I think they were probably going jet sweep there. You had Bush coming in motion. Looked like they were probably going to give it. The low snap not fielded cleanly, then Simmons got to try to do something with it. But the real quick penetration by Mays and Roseboro, they were all over him.
So a 2nd and 17 for the Panthers from their own 23-yard line. A couple of times the Panthers put the ball on the ground there, and Galena did not do that against the Raiders last Friday, and that was a big factor in the ball game. Option left side. Simmons going to keep, avoids the first tackler. He's got good yardage. Both tacklers got out to the 38, and some poor tackling by the Raiders.
Well, just what I talked about in the keys. The Raiders have got to tackle well. It's assignment football, so you're one-on-one most of the time. You've got to make that play. Simmons, good hard running and a good read on the option. I didn't think against Galena that he read the plays very, very much. I thought they called give or keep. Last week, you could see him. He read the plays much better, and that one there, another good read on the keep as the dive was going nowhere.
3rd and 1, Panthers from their own 39-yard line. Running backs in the eye. Simmons going to keep it and try the right side, and he stood up. I believe he got the first down, a couple of yards.
Yeah, in every short yardage situation that I've seen from Colgan this year, they've gone quarterback sneak, so no surprise that they did it there.
So 1st and 10 for the Panthers from their own 41-yard line. Now to 4:41 left here in the scoreless first quarter. This time going wide to the right is Whit Dungan. Slot to the right is Jacob Delasega. On slot to the left side is Jeremiah Bush. Now motion left to right, and they give it to Bush. Sweeping the right side, and he avoids a couple of tacklers and able to fight his way out to the 45-yard line for a gain of 4.
Ginnivan getting upfield and turning him in. A little bit slow on the flow to the football there, though, for the Raiders, and able to pick up a few. Not too bad, though. Ginnivan so far really getting up the field well, playing a nice first quarter.
So Bush able to pick up 4. That makes it a 2nd and 6 for the Panthers. Football resting their own 44-yard line. Delasega comes wide left, running backs in the eye with the freshman fullback Dominic Bevilacqua. And there's the give to the fullback, and he is out near midfield, close to the first down, a gain of about 6 on that.
Well, it's one of the first times that the defensive tackle, the Raiders went into more of a 5-man front there, so a nose and 2 tackles. The tackle has been doing a good job of coming down because it's usually more of inside veer that Colgan likes rather than like outside veer. That time the end kind of stayed a little bit too wide, able to give it up the middle and get that first down.
Panthers 1st and 10 from the Raiders 49-yard line. 3:38 clock moving here in the first quarter, no score. Delasega out wide left. Got the double tights and the running backs in the eye. Simmons under center. There's a dive. Simmons going to keep it hemmed in, and he is brought down after a gain of maybe a yard. Nice effort there. Ginnivan was there, and that was Johnson.
Yeah, and Johnson's responsibility is that quarterback came up nicely this time, didn't wait around. And then Ginnivan again, penetration. He ran that back. He ran that down from the backside.
2nd and 9 for the Panthers. Football shy of the Raiders' 48-yard line. Just bringing the play from the sideline for the Panthers. Trevor Graham. Line up tight to the left side. Coming out wide left is Bush. Slot left, that's Delasega. Running backs again in the eye. Simmons under the center, reverses out, gives it to the big fullback, and he's got some room, and he is dragged down at the 40-yard line, just short of the first down.
We're well blocked up front, and they got one linebacker blocked on play side. Backside linebacker was able to come over and keep him short of the first down, but really well blocked by Colgan up front.
3rd down on the yard for the Panthers. Football at the Raiders' 40-yard line.
Well, and he's a big kid, and if he gets a head of steam going, he's going to be tough to bring down.
Sun setting in the west. May cool off a tad, but still pretty warm out there on Hutch Field. And Panthers are moving the football 3rd and 1 from the Raiders' 40. Under the center is Simmons, and he's going to keep it. And this time, well, I think second effort, he did get it. Nice effort. They had him stood up, but he fell forward for a couple of yards.
Yeah, good fight on his part. This time, I think the Raiders are a little more prepared for that quarterback sneak, but able to fight enough for the first down.
Just ended up being about a yard. Apparently he thought he was stopped, but still got the first down. 1st and 10, Panthers from the Raiders' 39-yard line. Just pretty much keep it on that power up the middle between the tackles and been successful. Out of the eye, Simmons gives it. There's the big fullback, and he drags a tackler down to the 35-yard line for a pickup of 4.
Yeah, now starting to get that fullback going. If you get that fullback going, it just creates all kinds of problems for the defense. So not sure what's changed much up the middle, but right now the defensive line not getting that early penetrations to stop the fullback.
2nd and 6. And a timeout taken by the Raiders. A minute 27 left. Scoreless first quarter. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to high school football on 103.5 FM.
Paynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist. Paynes handles all driveline repairs for cars, trucks, four-wheel drive vehicles, and farm equipment. Paynes can also handle any general machine work and offers 24-hour record service. Call Paynes anytime, 231-3170. Paynes Incorporated is located at the intersection of West McKay and Highway 69 Frontenac Junction. Paynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist.
Proud supporter of Frontenac Athletics.
The City of Frontenac is a proud supporter of Frontenac High School athletics and academics. The City of Frontenac was founded in 1886 and is home to just over 3,100 residents. Frontenac citizens enjoy a small-town atmosphere and all that a close-knit community has to offer. Situated on the crossroads of two major highways, those living in Frontenac can easily travel and enjoy the amenities of larger cities in a shorter travel distance. The community boasts an outstanding school system, low taxes, complete city services, including 24-hour police and fire protection. Good luck, Raiders, from the mayor, city council, and staff.
And the give to tailback Max Wilson, and he is thrown for a couple-yard loss. Looked like Andrew Mays was in there.
Yeah, good penetration. I like the timeout by the Raiders, defensive timeout, especially in the first half. Colgan has something going on. Take a timeout, let the guys catch their breath, make an adjustment or two up front. That paid off there on that second down play is really nowhere to run.
3rd and 8 Panthers from the Raiders, 37-yard line. As wide right goes Dungan. Slot right, Della Sagan, running backs in the eye once again. Simmons gives it the fullback, and this time he is brought down after he gets down to the 34. Maybe he gave him the 33-yard line.
Yeah, both linebackers, good read, but when they went low on him, but man, he's just such a big kid. He probably got 3 more than he ought to just from falling forward.
So 4-down territory. It'll be 4th and 5 for the Panthers from the Raiders' 34-yard line. So a big 4th down early.
I don't think Colgan has thrown the ball yet, but you would think, was it 5 yards to go? It'd be pretty gutsy to run it. You would expect maybe to go look at getting the ball.
Backs, 3 running backs behind Simmons. And he's going to throw, looking for Bush on and out, and it is caught, and he avoided the tackler, and he got a first down to about the 22-yard line.
Well, definitely caught the ball short of the sticks. Was able to get away from the corner and the free safety. Both of them had a shot at him, able to spin out of it and fall forward. And Bush is a very good athlete on the outside, very capable of breaking tackles. But boy, I tell you, the Raiders, that's one you've got to stop him short.
1st and 10 for the Panthers as they convert on 4th down and 8 with the pass. And that's the end of the first quarter. No score. We'll take a 30-second break. And you're listening to high school football on 103.5 FM.
Having a confident smile can change everything, and Invisalign makes that decision easy because you can have a stunning smile without most people even knowing you're going through treatment. Saya Smile Center is proud to be a premier provider of Invisalign. Your Invisalign treatment will consist of a series of aligners that you switch out every 2 weeks. Each aligner will gradually shift your teeth perfectly into place, giving you the smile you always dreamed of. Call Saya Smile Center today for your no-cost consultation. Saya Smile Center, 4095 Parkview Drive in Frontenac, 620-231-7242.
Rob Stringer back with Randy Southard. We are at Pittsburgh's Hutchison Field. Been through a scoreless first quarter, but the Colgan Panthers on the drive. They have a 1st and 10 from the Frontenac Raiders' 23-yard line. And, boy, little offense in that first quarter, but what was, the Panthers are on it right now.
Yeah, really, Colgan has had the better of things in the first quarter, just haven't been able to punch it in. The Raiders have gotten absolutely nothing done on offense, and defensively they've been able to come up with stops when they need it, but Colgan has been able to move the ball.
Panthers 1st and 10, Raiders 23-yard line. 3 backs behind Simmons. There's the dive, the big fullback, and stopped after a couple down to the 21-yard line is Bevilacqua.
Yeah, Cal Strand this time got into his legs before he could really get going, limited that to just a 2-yard play. So a good job by Strand.
2nd and 8 for the Panthers from the Raiders' 21-yard line. Again, going to the power football with 3 backs. De La Sega, Vilacqua, and Wilson. Simmons under center. They give it the dive. Simmons keeps it. And, he lost a tackler. He's inside the 10, 5, and he is going to go in after breaking about a half dozen tackles.
Yeah, they had him about 2 yards downfield. They had him. It was a good read. He took it away from the fullback, went down the line of scrimmage. The Raiders were all over him. 2 or 3 guys had a shot at him for maybe a 2 or 3 yard gain. Broken tackles turns into a big play for Colgan. Just exactly what we talked about. You got to be able to tackle.
So the Panthers jump out in front on the 21-yard touchdown run by Cade Simmons, and the swinging gate as they line up for the extra point. And Luke Orendor out of the hold of Cal Marquardt, as now the line shifts. Apparently attempt the extra point via the kick. And a good snap, a good placement down, the kick is up, and it is good. We have 11:26 left first half. Colgan leads Frontenac 7-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to high school football on 103.5 FM.
If you are injured in an accident or on the job, it is vitally important that you hire the right attorney. Before choosing an attorney, you should make sure they have large corporations or insurance companies. Your attorney should have extensive trial court experience and a track record of success. The Spigarelli Law Firm, with offices in Pittsburgh and Coffeyville, has the experience, resources, and reputation to provide the quality representation your claim deserves. Fred Spigarelli has received the top rating from his peers with the Martindale-Hubbell Independent Rating System. His firm has the resources to hire the experts and physicians needed to properly present your claim. The Spigarelli Law Firm has successfully tried cases for over 40 years and taken numerous cases all the way to the Supreme Court. Call the Spigarelli Law Firm today at 877-409-7931 or visit their website at spigarelli-law.com. You can also find them fast in names and numbers. Be sure to get reliable information when you choose an attorney to represent you.
Colgan 7, Frontenac nothing. 11:26 left first half. Panthers to kick off. Orender tees it up at the 40. Back to receive the kick is Shamira, flanked by Chance and also Johnson. Hops it up, going to Shamira. Takes it to his 15. Crosses the 20, 25. Breaks out across the 35, and then he is gang tackled as he crosses the 35. So a nice return by Brendan Ishamira, and see if the Raiders can get something going offensively.
Yeah, need to come up with an answer here. Been basically 3 and out on the first 2 drives in the first quarter, and it's been really first down's the problem. The Raiders need a win on first down, get more manageable down in distance, and we'll see what the call is from Coach Smith. Not been able to get any kind of running game going so far.
Splitting wide to the right goes Brendan Ishamira. In the slot to the right is Jake Wilbert. Wide left is Brock Ginnivan. Single running back, Cooper Lloyd behind Peyton Brown, who rolls right, looking to throw. Some pressure. He's going to keep the football. He's got some room, has a first down, and he's tripped up and brought down out about the 47-yard line, maybe the 48. And I know they were talking to Peyton this week, said maybe you need to run the ball a little more. There was opportunities at Galena. You didn't take advantage of that.
Yeah, and it was a good choice right there, and no hesitation. Saw the crease and decided to take it. Had good coverage downfield by Colgan. Not really anywhere to throw the football. Really good decision to turn it up and get the first down of the game for Frontenac.
Raiders 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. Ginnivan goes wide right. Slot right, Ishamira. Tight to the left is Roseboro. Running backs in the eye. Give it to the tailback. That's Wilbert. He cuts. Nice cut inside the 45 down to the 43 of the Panthers and close to a first down after a gain of 9.
Yeah, went with ISO, which really so far this year has been the Raiders' best running play. And you get Cooper Lloyd with the lead block, and they ran right at Wilson, and Cooper Lloyd with a really good block on Wilson gave Wilbert a crease. And then there's that good first down play. Now 2nd and 2, the playbook is wide open.
So the Raiders will face a 2nd and 2 from their own, from the Panthers' 44-yard line. High snap, and Lloyd trips and falls. And I think his knee went down probably 2 yards. Well, boy, they're going to give him the lean. I think they missed that.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, he had a crease there too. And that play kind of messed up from the beginning with the high snap. But if that play is clean, he had a big crease up the middle.
It'll be 3rd and 1, Panthers Raiders from the Panthers' 43-yard line. Running backs in the eye. Brown to Wilbert. And he cuts inside. He's inside the 40 and planted at the 39 and has the first down.
Well, and they're able to break a tackle on the outside. This ISO again, designed to go up the middle, but Wilbert sees a little bit of daylight to the outside, decides to take it, makes a man miss. So real nice run and no penetration on the defensive line that time. Raiders offensive line starting to get things going a little bit.
1st and 10, Frontenac from the Colgan 39-yard line. 9:52 left first half. Colgan the 7-0 lead. Ginnivan splits wide. Well, excuse me. Ginnivan's slot right. Ishmira joins him out there. Running backs in the eye now. Ginnivan motion right to left. Reversing out as Brown gives it to Wilbert. Nothing. Did good to get close to the line of scrimmage. That's about it.
Well, it's a good job by Colgan. I don't know what the blocking assignments were, but I don't think Frontenac blocked a single defensive lineman for Colgan. Let every single one of them go.
2nd and 11. Raiders from the Panthers 40-yard line.
Well, I tell you, just when you look like the offensive line's got something going, then that time I don't think they blocked anybody up front.
Coming out wide left for the Raiders is Macias. Wide to the right, Johnson in motion right to left. High snap, and the back in front of the quarterback knocks the football out of Peyton Brown's hands.
Well, again, it's the high snap is what gets everything messed up here. Brown then has to hurry to try to get a fake to the motion man, and then it's just all messed up from there. Ball kicks forward, no one able to jump on it for the Raiders. So just as they have something going, a big turnover.
So 1st and 10 for the Panthers, and they'll start just outside their own 38-yard line with a 7-0 lead with 8:53 left here in the first half. Coming out wide right is De La Sega. Running backs in the eye behind the quarterback, Simmons. And there's the dive to the fullback, and this time not much going, only a couple of yards for the big freshman, Dominic Vivalacqua.
Yeah, good play by Jordan Ishimura, reading that, filling the hole.
6 carries, 26 yards unofficially for Bevilacqua, and a 2nd and 8 for the Panthers from their own 41-yard line. 8.5 minutes left first half. Colgan the 7-0 lead.
For the most part, the Raider defense has been in good position on most of these plays. The question is whether they can actually make the tackle and get a man on the ground.
Bush comes wide to the right. Sophomore Brant Chance, single coverage on him. Running backs again in the eye now move, and the defense jumped about 3 of them.
And they definitely got into the neutral zone. The Raiders do kind of line up pretty far off the ball. I think that's to give some leeway if they do jump, but I think clearly they got into the neutral zone.
And it was a couple or 3 at the same time. It was pretty obvious before the snap. So a 2nd, and let's call it 2nd about 2 for the Panthers from their own 46-yard line.
You would think at some point here a play action pass, and this would be a perfect time to do it on 2nd and relatively short to try to get the big play.
Trevor Graham wide left. De La Sega slot left. Backs in the eye. Oh boy, he fumbled the snap, and Simmons going to keep it. Ginnivan tracks him down from behind. Wilbert joins in and holds him to a gain of about a yard. Looks like it's just short of the first down.
Well, a heck of a play by Ginnivan there, and really Colgan had it outmanned on the outside. He had a man coming up, like the safety outside linebacker coming up, and he was going to take the quarterback, but then the pitch would have been wide open. Ginnivan, though, was able to get there before any decision could be made by Simmons.
So a 3rd and 2, Panthers from their own 47. Panthers having a little trouble with that exchange from center under the center, and there's the dive to the big fullback. He's got the first down into Raider territory down to the 48.
I expected Max Wilson to get the ball a lot more, but when your fullback is starting to grind things out, boy, just feed the big man. And there's nothing wrong with 3 or 4 yards of play, because you do that, you're going to keep moving the chains.
1st and 10, Panthers from the Raiders' 48-yard line down to 7:05 left first half. Colgan with the 7-0 lead.
I am a little surprised they haven't tried to take a shot down the field, though. You would think that's got to come at some point.
Bush wide right. Wide left goes Graham. Motion left to right, De La Sega. Simmons going to keep the football, and, well, he can't quite turn the corner. Whoa, what was that? Wilbert, good play by Mays, held him up, and Wilbert threw him down. I don't know what he thought the official thought he saw.
They're going to call a
Personal
face
foul.
mask, but I think he had him by the shoulder pad. It didn't look like he had him by the face mask to me.
I don't see how the white hat behind it could possibly see if he had the face mask the way that was.
Well, quite frankly, I don't believe that's what he should have been looking at anyway.
And so the big mark-off, personal foul, and now Panthers got something going. 1st and 10 from the Raiders' 31-yard line.
Raiders living a little bit dangerously, though, because, Simmons eventually is going to pitch that ball, and if he could have made a pitch there as well, no one out there for Wilson.
Running backs in the eye behind Simmons. Boy, another bobble snap, and there's the pitch, and Wilson is hemmed in. Another missed tackle, and finally they drag him down after about a gain of 4, but he should have had nothing.
Clothier initially makes a really good play because he's coming inside like he's gonna tackle the quarterback. Simmons reads it perfectly, gets the pitch out. Clothier really does a nice job getting back to the outside and getting on Wilson, but just not able to make the tackle. Could have been a loss. Wilson turns it into about a 2-yard gain.
Now an official's timeout is. Oh, we got some blood.
I think it's blood, yeah.
Coming in from the far side for the Raiders at defensive end. That'll be Hayden Pyle, and Panthers with a 2nd and 8 from the Raiders' 29-yard line. 6:02 remaining first half. Colgan up 7-0. Lineup, well, 3 running backs again behind Simmons, and the give to Wilson, the tailback. This time he pops one, and he's down near the 22-yard line.
Yeah, this time they could line up in the power eye, and you've got 2 lead fullbacks basically for lead blockers. Got a nice push up front for a nice gain on 2nd, setting up this 3rd and short. And again, down here it's going to be 2-down territory, I'm sure.
3rd and 1, Panthers. Football resting inside the Raiders' 23-yard line. Down to 5:22 left here in the first half. Panthers trying to add a 7-0 lead. Running backs in the eye. Nevelock with the fullback, the tailback Wilson behind Simmons. It's the snap, going to keep it and wedge it straight up the middle. Got the first down plus more inside the 20 down near the, boy, it looks like they're marking about the 17.
And the Raiders there in a 5-man front, you've got a nose guard in one A gap, but the other A gap, there's no one in there, and you don't have a linebacker stepping up. It's pretty simple to take the snap and go through the opposite A gap where there's nobody there.
So 1st and 10, Panthers. Football resting at the Raiders' 18-yard line. Just power football, and Panthers taking it to the Raiders now. Simmons under the center with 3 run backs behind him. Reverse out, Wilson tries the left side. He cuts inside and brought down about the 15 after a gain of about 3 yards.
Yeah, ran that power play again, and this Raiders did a better job of not giving as much ground. But still a decent pickup on 1st.
2nd and 7 for the Panthers from the Raiders' 15-yard line. Just 4.5 minutes remaining first half. Colgan with the 7-0 lead. Wide to the left goes Graham. Out wide right is Bush. Running backs in the eye. Simmons under the center with the snap. Gives it the dive to the fullback. And they had the initial contact, and he was able to break it and get down about the 11-yard line for a pickup of about 4.
Yeah, Ginnivan got to him probably a yard deep, but he wasn't able to quite get his head in front of the body. So he hit him on the backside. And the big fullback able to fall forward for a pretty decent gain.
3rd and 3, Panthers from the Raiders' 11. Clock moving down to 3:52 left here, first half. Nevelock with the fullback, the tailback Wilson. Slot to the right side, or excuse me, the running back to the right side is Marquardt behind Simmons. Gives it to Wilson, right side. Lowers his shoulder, and he takes one of the Raider defenders for a ride down to about the 7-yard line.
Well, and again, that power eye, just good hard running. This one's going to be close. I think they may bring the sticks out for a measurement.
They come from the far side with 3:31 left first half, and Colgan with the 7-0 lead. And
well, I'll tell you, if they can punch this in, it's all on the ground, and these just pound at you, demoralizing for a defense to just get ran on and ran on and ran on.
It's going to be close. Chains brought from the far side for the measurement. In any event, the You know, if they're short, the Panthers are going to go for it for 4th and inches, but looks like they got it. So they will have a 1st and goal, will the Colgan Panthers. And football at the Frontenac Raiders, looks like it's about the 8-yard line. Sustained drive on the ground. Haven't had to pass the football. This is the power game, and you know, like I said, 3 yards at a time does it. You can keep the chains moving. Simmons under the center with 3 running backs behind him. Give to Wilson left. He tries to cut back inside. Not much going there as he's gang tackled and thrown back.
Yeah, interesting how they ran that. You know, they've been running that power where both backs lead to the same side. This time it looked like the backs kind of went to opposite sides. Don't know if that was a mistake or if that's the design of the play, but one less blocker and just not much room then.
It'll be 2nd and goal for the Panthers from the Raiders, 7-yard line. Wide left is Marquardt. Rylan McDaniel one-on-one against him out to the left. And there's a give. There's the fullback, and he is brought down, and I think they're going to give him about the 3-yard line.
Well, I tell you, he runs very hard, and it's impressive for a freshman to be out there. I mean, I know he's big, but, you know, just a freshman. And this time, Ishimura makes a really nice play on this and fills the hole quickly, goes low, gets a piece of his leg, but just doesn't stop the big guy, and he's able to fall forward for a pickup.
3rd and goal, Panthers from the Raiders, 4. Again, Mevilacqua, the fullback, the tailback's Wilson. Elisega, slot to the right, motion right to left, looking to throw a quick out, and the pass picked off. Oh, and that was picked off. A nice play by Brent Chance and a poorly thrown pass.
Yeah, because Bush is wide open on this play. He runs a post corner, so he fakes like a quick slant, and really Chance bites on it. He pushed out to the outside. If this ball is lofted up into the air, thrown to the corner, it's an easy touchdown. The ball well underthrown by Simmons, and Chance is then able to make up the ground and come up with a big pick to keep him out of the end zone. Now, maybe would have liked to have seen him just take a knee or go down in the end zone, tries to return it a little bit and only made it out to the 2. But either way, a big play for the defense to keep Colgan out of the end zone.
Now the Raiders going to have to avoid the loss and try and at least get a 1st down to keep that clock moving. 1st and 10 Raiders on their own 2. Oh, yes.
Oh, he's got him.
Go long.
Oh,
it's underthrown, and oh, man, off the fingertips of Bush, and it hit Ishimura in the face mask.
Boy, what a gutsy call. You figure for all the world, they're just going to run the ball up the middle, try to get it off the goal line, play action pass, and really Ishimura running down the seam. He was behind Bush. The free safety was wide open, but the pass was thrown more right down the middle of the field and a little underthrown. Bush able to get a hand on it and deflect it just enough to where Ishimura couldn't make a play.
So a 2nd and 10 for the Raiders from their own 2-yard line with 1:58 left here in the 1st quarter. And Colgan the 7-0 lead.
It'll be interesting to see here, too, because Colgan does have 3 timeouts. I would expect if the Raiders run the ball and don't gain very much, you'd see a timeout.
Round under center with a single setback is Wilbert. Give to Wilbert. Left side, boy, not much there. I don't even know that he got any yardage on that carry.
Well, this time he missed the hole. You know, they ran ISO before, and it's supposed to go up the middle, and he bounced out to the outside, which was a good idea. This time, ISO again, and it's open up the middle. He tries to bounce it, and that's where the defense was.
And like you mentioned, the Panthers take the timeout. We'll just keep it here with 1:49 left in the 1st half, and Panthers lead the Raiders 7-0, and after an interception in the end zone, the Raiders now face a 3rd and 9 from their own 3-yard line. And like you mentioned, the Panthers have the timeout, so Raiders could be put in a punting situation again, and that was a problem earlier. So
well, you'd like to at least get a few yards here just to give the punter, if you don't get a 1st down, at least give the punter a little bit more room. Right now, it's going to be awful cramped back there, and Colgan has been able to get pressure on the kicker. So important here to just make sure you get a positive gain, get it out probably past the 5 at least. Even if you don't make the 1st, give that punter some room. And I don't think you can call a pass play here, because if it's incomplete, then the clock stops, and now you've just let Colgan save another timeout.
So the Raiders with a 3rd and 9 from their own 3-yard line. See how they line up.
They've gone empty.
Yeah, The only back there is Peyton Brown out of the gun. Good snap. Pumps once. Always forced to scramble. Now he's got a man open. That's Ginnivan, and he's got the first down and more as he is out across the 20 and gang tackled out near the 25-yard line. And boy, that worked out well and nice effort by Brown to kind of slide to the left and get open.
Yeah, because it's kind of a busted play. They were looking to get another big play. Wilbert going down the field, defended well by Colgan. Ginnivan kind of had stopped his route, but the defense went with Wilbert long. Brown did a good job pump faking and then finding Ginnivan on the sideline.
Gotta let him get set. There's always some confusion, and even the setting up. Macias finally comes wide left side. Snap rolling right is Brown. Got a man open, and that is Roseboro on the catch out at the 34-yard line for a gain of 9.
Yeah, really good lead block. Cooper Loy got on his man, gave Brown a lot of extra time. I thought it might have been another case where Brown would take off, but I think a good decision to take that pass across the middle to Roseboro.
2nd and 1 for the Raiders from the 34, and now movement, and the wide receiver shuffling his feet, and he was there. I don't know what he was waiting.
And a lot of penalties on the Raiders, and about 3 false start or motion penalties against them. Had the face mask on defense, and the penalties just when you get something going. And really with 57 seconds to go and a couple of timeouts, it's plenty of time for the Raiders to try to get down the field and score some points. But the penalties just, boy, they're just a killer.
2nd and 6 now for the Raiders from their own 29-yard line after the 5-yard mark off. 3 wide left, rolling to the left is Brown, gets some time, puts it up, and it's caught. Nice catch by Ishamira, and then he is wrestled at the 45 and has the first down.
Now there's a flag down in the backfield, and they're going to call holding on Loy as the lead blocker. I'm pretty sure is what this call is going to be. This play is going to come back. Boy, and I don't know about that one either. I thought it was pretty clean block on the outside, but regardless, the flag's down.
And the official standing in front of the Panthers bench was the man that made that call, and wow, that hurts because they were out to the 45, and now they're going to be back their own 20-yard line after the mark off.
And right now the Panthers defensively have got 2 safeties back playing 2 deep zone, and they are every bit of 20, if not 30 yards off the ball. So getting anything really deep is going to be really tough.
2nd and 15, Raiders from their own 20. There's a pitch, sweep the right side and with some room, and holding over a tackler is Wilbert running hard out across the 30, out near the 33, maybe 34-yard line.
Yeah, it's a good play call there because you got the defense so far back expecting the pass. So you take that. You set up a third and much more manageable, but more importantly, you keep that clock going and you deter Colgan from calling any more timeouts to try to get the ball back.
And on to 13 seconds, the Raiders facing a 3rd and 1 from their own 34-yard line. Time for one play. There's a little pitch. Get the ball. No, they called it incomplete. And now you got 3 seconds. You better run a play. Just take the snap and move around and not risk the snap.
Yeah, it is the danger in this situation. You know, the odds of scoring when you're backed up at your own 35-yard line, you know, with less than 10 seconds to go, I'm surprised they even put the ball in the air at all.
So 4th and 1 for the Raiders from their own 34-yard line, and I'm sure they're going to tell Peyton Brown to take the snap and just retreat and run 3 seconds off and go in at halftime down only 7-0.
Yeah, it is 4th down, so you got to make sure.
You don't want to hit your knee real quick.
Yeah, make sure you run off enough clock.
Out of the gun. You got to run. Now they're going to throw, and it is now in and out of the hands. Ishamira took his hands off the ball.
Yeah, I tried to look at where he was going to run before he secured it.
So we head to halftime. Colgan leads Frontenac 7-0. We'll be back with the unofficial stats and scoring summary after we take a 2-minute break. 2 minutes. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
No one wants to file for bankruptcy, but a wage garnishment can make it hard to pay the rent, pay the pharmacy, or even feed the family. Bankruptcy can be a viable option to help families cope with unfortunate and unforeseen financial hardship. Call Steve Stockert at Wilbert and Towner, 620-231-5620 for a consultation to find out if bankruptcy is the right choice for you and your family. Call today. Wilbert and Towner, a full-service law firm, 620-231-5620. We are a debt relief agency, helping people find the relief they need in bankruptcy.
After 3 decades in business, Bittner Motors of Pittsburgh remains a local favorite. If you're in the market for a quality pre-owned vehicle, Bittner Motors has a large selection of late model, low mileage vehicles to choose from. Whether it be a car, truck, or SUV, Bittner Motors will warranty all their vehicles 100% for parts and service. And if you can't find what you're looking for on the lot, they will find it for you. Bittner Motors, 1018 North Broadway, Pittsburgh.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. We're at Hutchison Field in Pittsburgh. It is halftime, and the Colgan Panthers lead the Frontenac Raiders by a score of 7-0. And well, interesting first half, if you want to call it that. But boy, it seemed like it was a struggle. It was almost like running in sand if you're the Raiders, and the Panthers, not much through the air, but were pounding the ground. Had a good ground game, and thus with the 7-0 lead here at halftime. Taking a look at the unofficial stats, scoring summary. The Colgan Panthers, quarterback Cade Simmons, 10 carries, 42 yards, and he has the Panthers touchdown. Max Wilson, 9 carries, 22 yards. Dominic Bevilacqua, 9 carries, 39 yards, and Jeremiah Bush, 1 carry for 4 yards. Cade Simmons through the air, 1 for 2 for 12 yards, and he did throw an interception. Frontenac Raiders on the ground, Jake Wilbert, 9 carries, 31 yards. Peyton Brown, a carry for 12 yards. Cooper Loy, 1 carry for a yard. And through the air, Peyton Brown, 3 completions, 7 attempts, 34 yards. And the Raiders did lose a fumble, so both teams with the turnover. The Raiders via the fumble route, and the Panthers with an interception. Went through a scoreless first quarter. Then with 11:26 remaining in the first half, Cade Simmons, the quarterback, scored for 21 yards out, broke a number of tackles, and scored the Panthers' lone touchdown in that first half. The extra point was good by Orender. Colgan led Frontenac 7-0 with 11:26 left in the first half. Then, well, got to halftime with the Panthers up 7-0. The Raiders avoided further damage with an interception in the end zone in the waning moments of the first half. And that's been about it. There's not many highlights, to say the least, but the Panthers with a 7-0 lead over the Raiders as the fireworks go off after the performance by the Colgan dance squad. And we'll be back after a couple minutes break to take a look at some of the goings-on around Frontenac schools. We'll be back in 2 minutes. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
If you want to improve your basketball skill set, you need to attend one of the Lane Lord basketball camps. Each camper receives individual attention and specific coaching adapted to age and skill level. They're for everyone. A grade school camp for girls entering 3rd through 8th grade. A high school camp available on 2 different weekends, both varsity and JV level competition, plus satellite camp for all campers receive instruction from head coach Lane Lord, head assistant along with former and current players. More information, visit them online at LaneLordBallCamps.com. Coach Lord and have seen tremendous success over the past several years, and they begin their at these camps with over 20 former campers being signed. Visit LaneLordBallCamps.com.
Great insurance agency comes when you suffer a loss. It's to take your handling your claim is insured. We'll be at phone call. Insurance.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard at halftime. The Hutch Field in Pittsburgh. The Colgan Panthers lead the Frontenac Raiders by a score of 7-0, and taking a look at some of the other broadcasts in the offing. Tomorrow, the big one over at Webb City. The Cardinals play host to the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons, and of course, you'll hear that game and all the Purple Dragons games on ESPN 100.7 FM. We'll also stream those contests on ESPN 1007.com. As we do all the Frontenac games, and also we have all the Frontenac games home and away right here on 103.5 FM. And so a lot of going on. Of course, the other seasons there at Frontenac, you've got busy with the volleyball and also the cross country and the women's golf and the like. So what's the update on those teams?
Well, I got to be honest, it was tough being a Thursday game. And the cross country ran today at Parsons, and I just got an update on that. Jessica Peterson did medal. She medaled in 5th place. I'm not sure how the team did. I honestly just don't have those results. But one of my favorite tracks was over at Big Hill, and Jessica did well to get 5th place. Looking at golf, the girls golf team had a tournament on Monday over in Parsons, and I just have a team result from that meet. The team got 5th over there in Parsons, so a good showing. And then today they had a league meet. Galena is the host, of course, played in Joplin, and the team got 1st overall, and Michelle Morissette with 2nd place finish, Faith Hill 6th place, Kira Threffel 7th place, and Brianna Green 10th place. So a good job by the Lady Raiders on the golf course. Then finally, volleyball last Saturday co-hosted the tournament with Colgan that they do every single year. They beat Columbus and Cherryville in kind of basically pool play, and then were beaten by Jasper, Missouri in the semifinals. Lady Raiders 6-2 on the year after that tournament.
So those are some of the goings on the other teams at Frontenac, and of course, check out, go to the school's website, get some of the schedules, and support some of those teams as they're working hard too. And you'll enjoy it, guarantee. They work hard too, and they'd appreciate your support. Here at halftime, the St. Mary's Colgan Panthers ahead of the Frontenac Raiders 7-0, and we're going to take another 2-minute break. And you're listening to high school football on 103.5 FM.
Hi, I'm Ken McGammon. You may know me as a Kansas City Chief, but I'm also a proud graduate of Pittsburgh State University. Pittsburgh State offers more than 200 degree programs, small class sizes, and tuition so affordable it earned Pittsburgh State a top 10 ranking on Washington Monthly's Collegiate Best Bang for Your Buck list. But don't take my word for it. Visit Pittsburgh State and see why there's nothing like being a gorilla. Learn more at pittstate.edu/BA-gorilla.
Rob Strambeck with Randy Southard at Pittsburgh's Hutchison Field. We're at halftime. The St. Mary's Colgan Panthers with a 7-0 lead over the Frontenac Raiders. And again, the scoreless first quarter. The Panthers scored with 11:26 remaining in the first half. A 21-yard run by quarterback Kate Simmons. And Orander's extra point made it 7-0, and that's where we stand. The Raiders defense picked off one in the end zone, or it could have been worse. And really, well, they've been having trouble stopping the run and haven't gotten much going offensively. So I don't know. Usually Coach Mark Smith is able to get their attention at halftime, but he's really going to have a chore this one, because it was a rough first half for the Frontenac Raiders.
Quite honestly, it was dominated by Colgan in the first half. The scorer, Frontenac, is extremely lucky to only be down 7 in this game. Offensively, the offensive line's got absolutely nothing done in the running game. Colgan's gotten penetration. They've not been able to block linebackers at times. It's just been ugly on offense. The last drive, the Raiders finally got a few yards, but all of it was through the air, other than one run on the ground by Brown that was actually more of a scramble off of a pass play. So really the only thing going for Frontenac in the first half, a little bit in the pass game late, but offensively absolutely nothing. Defensively, really the Raiders are in position. They're playing the plays correctly, But then they're just not necessarily bringing the guys down. They've missed a lot of tackles. The touchdown run, there was probably 3 missed tackles on the touchdown run. That should have been about a 2-yard gain. Instead, it's a 21-yard touchdown. Several other plays, just not able to get guys on the ground when they make contact. And when you fall forward for 2 or 3 extra yards, all those yards add up and just keep those drives going. So I think defensively, I mean, the Raiders just have got to shore up that tackling. And then offensively, that offensive line has got to start getting something done.
That and, man, when you lack the offense, that means the defense out there a lot. And on a warm night like tonight, you can get worn down, especially when they were pounding, 3, 4, 5 yards a carry. And that gets tough. But you need a little break, and, offense is going to have to step up and get something going here as they trail 7-0 to the Frontenac Raiders at halftime against the Colgan Panthers.
I mean, in a way, Frontenac almost has to be happy that it's just 7-0, because this should be probably, for sure, 2-touchdown game, if not a 3-touchdown game right now.
And again, the Panthers won the toss, deferred, so they will have the football, I'm assuming, to start the second half the way they've been moving it. And, to keep it on the ground like that, not much though, that clock moves quick. That seemed like that was a rapid first half.
Well, Frontenac only had 3 possessions? Maybe 4 possessions tops in the entire first half?
Yeah. And again, the Raiders did lose a fumble. Now, of course, the interception by the Panthers, we did notice a few times the ball was on the ground. I mean, it just wasn't recovered by the Raiders. There was a little bit of problem with the exchange between the center and the quarterback under there. Sometimes a little double clutch and the like. But, it just resulted in the interception was the only turnover they had. And
you've even
it didn't
had
come
some
back to haunt them other than the points that they didn't get.
Yeah, and you've had some bad snaps that have turned plays into negative plays, even if it wasn't a turnover. One turnover started with the bad snap and then everything's just kind of all messed up. The ball's on the ground. So they just have to clean everything up. Quite honestly, I look a lot of this, especially that first quarter, I thought it was just a very lackadaisical, not a lot of concentration by the Raiders on the field. Tons of penalties, procedure penalties, that's lack of concentration. Now, I also find it hard to believe the Raiders have a ton of penalties, and I don't think a single penalty's been called on Colgan yet. That's kind of hard to believe, but at the same time, lack of concentration is lack of concentration.
Well, I think they did get one block in the back.
On the punt, that's right, which they almost didn't call.
Yeah, which I'm wondering if the one that was so blatant, if it was one that was actually called, because if it was by the official completely on the other side, and how the one that was right in front of him didn't see it, I don't know. He was able to see a hold that cost him about 15 yards or, a little later on, but be it as it may, that's where we are at halftime. Colgan leads Frontenac 7-0. The Raiders coming out for their mandatory 3-minute warm-up prior to the start of the second half. We're waiting for the rival Colgan Panthers, and we'll take another 2-minute break, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. You're listening to high school football on 103.5 FM.
Watco Companies has been a member of the Pittsburgh community since 1983. Now a national freight transportation provider, Watco serves customers in 26 states by offering transportation, mechanical, and transload services. Whether transporting potatoes from Idaho, replacing rail cars in Iowa, or transloading rock in Alabama, Watco will never forget their roots because there's no place like home. Watco supports Pittsburgh community athletics and wishes all area teams the best of luck.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Rob Strandback with Randy Southern as we head toward the start of the second half from Hutchinson Field in Pittsburgh. The Colgan Panthers with a 7-0 lead over the Frontenac Raiders. And again, the Panthers won the toss. They deferred. They'll have the choice to start the second half. Soon they'll take the football and try and add to that 7-0 lead. And I guess haven't seen much with the cramping part of it, which is warm and humid as it is. But, that, like I said, that defense has been out there quite a bit. You may, on down the road, if it things don't change, that could be a possibility too. But well, you got to play through it. Need them out there, and we'll see if Raiders are stirred up by the halftime speech from Mark Smith. I'm sure it was probably pretty colorful.
I would hope so, quite frankly. I think that's what the boys needed, to be perfectly honest about it. You know, and the way this game has gone, the Raiders have not been able to substitute on the defensive line nearly as much as I know they would like to. So that fatigue factor that I think we had the advantage with depth isn't really going to come through because the Raiders just have not been able to substitute because they just have had a hard time stopping the run.
And on the other hand, if you're Coach Sean Seamatter of the Colgan Panthers, I'm saying after that first half, you got to be very pleased. Obviously couldn't get the pass game going, although they did get a big first down on fourth down via the pass route.
But on a broken
on
tackle.
But on the ground, they were able to move it and control the clock and control the game and produce some points and get the lead.
Well, for what it appears that he obviously wants to do, I think absolutely he's got to be happy with how his team performed. I think he certainly would love to see that pass back and, you know, the interception in the end zone. I think if he had to do it over again, he probably would have kept it on the ground, although the receiver was wide open. The ball was just underthrown, so you can't really fault him for the call. It's just some bad execution on the play. So, but yeah, I think he's got to be very happy, and if I were him, I wouldn't step away from the veer or the power I one bit and just keep shoving it down the throat if you can. And defensively, heck, you can't argue at all. They played a great defensive first half, so I don't think if you're Colgan, you got to change a whole heck of a lot in the locker room.
And the Panthers out again for the mandatory 3-minute warm-up prior to the start of the second half. The Raiders in the west end zone, huddling up, getting prepared for the start of the second half. And we'll have that start after we take another minute break. 1 minute. You're listening to high school football on 103.5 FM.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Now accepting new clients. At the Pet Care and Surgery Center, Dr. James Clark believes all of our pets deserve kind, humane, and loving treatment. From a simple checkup or rabies vaccination to performing major surgery. Plus, Dr. Clark has boarding, grooming, nutrition, and wellness checkups. Dr. James Clark can provide that loving member of your family with the treatment they deserve. Call 620-308-6454 to set up an appointment or simply visit petcarecenter.org. Pet Care and Surgery, making a difference.
Rob Strand, Randy Southard back at Hutch Field in Pittsburgh, ready for the start of the second half as the Colgan Panthers with a 7-0 lead over the Frontenac Raiders again tomorrow night on ESPN 100.7 FM. We will have Pittsburgh at Webb City and also on the live stream at ESPN1007.com, and also on that live stream you can watch Girard at Columbus tomorrow evening. So a couple options. Some of the activities with this Thursday game cuts back on Friday's games coverage, and so kind of slim as far as Friday goes, but still gives you opportunity if you're at the Frontenac and Colgan game. You can go watch a game on Friday night somewhere if you feel like you want to. And we're ready for the start of the second half, and Raiders will kick off as Trey Harris will tee it up at the 40, and the Colgan Panthers will receive the second half kick. The Raiders will defend the east goal here in the third quarter, and the Panthers will have their back to the west goal.
Well, and both teams coming out here with just being a one-score game, you know, I'm not saying it's the end-all, beat-all this first drive, but it certainly could set the tone for the second half. If Colgan's able to line up and just run the ball down Frontenac's throat like they did in the first half, you know, it's going to be, it could signify that it's going to be a tough night for the Raider defense.
And back to receive the kicks drops Wilson along with Bush. Also Della Seg and Marquardt short. And again, Harris tees it up at the 40, and Colgan 7, Frontenac nothing. Here's the start of the second half as Harris the approach. And a low line drive, and it takes one hop, taken on the run by Bush. Tries the right side, and boy, it looked like it opened up, but then he was pinned in and brought down at the 35-yard line. There he just took it and ran and got what he could.
Well, and he took the ball on a full head of steam, so he wasn't even standing still. And boy, it looked like he had something, and I think that was Jordan Ishimura was able to close that hole and make a stop to end that return. So good play by Ishimura.
Panthers will start 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Colgan 7, Frontenac at nothing. Coming wide to the left is Della Sega. Couple of tight ends. And the running backs again in the eye. And again, Simmons tries the left side, pitches back to Wilson. He avoids a tackler, and he is brought down as, boy, Willard had good penetration, but he couldn't make the tackle.
You know, and a good job by Simmons being able to pitch this ball out. And again, Raiders in position to make a play. Wilson able to split 2 defenders, turned into a positive gain on 1st down. Another missed tackle by the Raiders.
10 carries, 29 yards for Wilson, and a 2nd and 3 for the Panthers. Football resting just outside their own 41-yard line. Going wide to the right is Dungan. Slot right, Della Sega. Running backs again in the eye. Bevilacqua, the fullback, the tailback. Wilson behind Simmons. There's a give. Dive right side this time. Being cut down is Bevilacqua.
Yeah, that's Nathan Kaufman in on defense. Normally just playing as most of the time on offense, but I believe they may have him in at middle linebacker. Excellent read, getting into the legs, limiting that to a very short gain. Good play by Kaufman.
So a 3rd and a couple for the Panthers from their own 43-yard line. Big 3rd down early here in the 3rd quarter with Colgan leading at 7-0. Bush comes wide left. Slot left is Della Sega. Again, the running back's in the eye. Simmons reverses out, gives it to the fullback, and this time they stood him up short of the 1st down.
Yeah, and there's
a
penalty
flag. Was there motion?
I think there's got to be some kind of motion. The flag was thrown as soon as the ball was snapped.
Why is the white hat looking over here at the side?
Now, he just put his hand up like this is a dead ball snap, so this may not be giving the Raiders a chance, you know, to take the penalty or take the play, although I think I'd take the penalty anyway. It would have been 4th and less than a yard. So I think a good to take the penalty, although I'm not sure the Raiders had the choice.
I just wondered why the white hat was looking to the official in front of the Colgan bench, because he was involved in it. That's the only thing that's kind of threw me off. In any event, 3rd and 7 for the Panthers. Football resting outside their own 37-yard line. Give them the 38. Wide to the right side is Marquardt. Chance on him one-on-one. Running backs again in the eye with Simmons under the center. And there's a coming end around and a spin by Bush, and he split 2 tacklers, and he's got the 1st down, and boy, oh boy, they had him dead to rights, and they couldn't make the stop.
It's the same old story. You've got to play well defended, everyone in position, and you just can't make a tackle. Some of these are upperclassmen, some of them are underclassmen. It hasn't made a difference. They've just not been able to get the Colgan players on the ground tonight.
1st and 10, football resting just on the Panthers side of midfield. With 9:54 left 3rd quarter, and Colgan the 7-0 lead. Wide to the right is Bush. Slot right, Marquardt. Running backs in their movement. There's a penalty, 5-yard mark off as Marquardt got happy feet out of that slot right. And it'll be 1st and 15 for Colgan from its own 45-yard line.
Yeah, and he tried to make it look like he was going in motion or something, but moved forward too much when he did move.
That's not the first time I think they've been behind the stakes after a 1st down, or now on a 1st down. Bush goes wide to the right. Tight to the left is Graham. Slot right, Della Sega. Backs out of the eye. Simmons under center. He's going to keep it. Tries to turn left corner. Boy, shot the ball loose. And I believe the Raiders come up with it.
There's going to be a fight on the ground for this one, and Simmons came up with it.
Well, you got to go get that ball. It was right there.
Yeah, it looked like Chance had come in from the corner spot, actually, and looked like he dove on the ball, and they were wrestling around for it, and Simmons able to come away with it. Boy, would that have been a big play.
2nd and 11 for the Panthers from their own 49-yard line. Well defended that time as Alex Johnson had him tangled up. He Still dragging him for a few yards, but then coughed up the football. The Raiders couldn't come up with it. And the running back's in the eye. And there's a pitch, and this time they got Wilson. And don't be celebrating. There's a nice play by Cooper Lloyd, but boy, you don't want to risk celebrating in front of this guy over here in front of the Colgan bench.
Yeah, but finally, just a good form tackle, squared him up, put his helmet in his chest, and able to take him down. So a good play by Lloyd.
So 3rd and, let's call it 15 for the Panthers. Football shy of their own 44-yard line now. Like a passing situation with 8:35 left, 3rd quarter. Colgan up 7-0. Wide to the left is Dungan. Wide to the right, that is Bush. Out of the eye, looking at throw. That is Simmons going long over the middle. He's got a man open, and it is batted down as, who is that? Riley McDaniel. Boy, it looked like he took a swat at it and almost got to the intended receiver, Whit Dungan, but fell to the turf.
Well, good catch-up speed because the receiver was past him. The ball a little bit underthrown, so he's able to catch up to it, and a good job coming up and knocking the ball down. So good recovery after kind of being a little bit beat early.
Back to receive the punt is Jake Wilbert, and Jeremiah Bush will handle the kicking duties. A little disorganized as the Raiders' defense as Panthers line up to punt.
Well, they haven't
had
he
dropped the snap, and he is tackled back at the 31-yard line.
Oh, and did he get planted? Andrew Mays comes in. Yeah, and it's a good snap, and he just bobbles the ball. Had a hard time picking it up, started to run, and Mays just came in and planted him into the turf. Let's see if this is the play that gets the Frontenac team fired up, get that offensive line going, and get something going on the ground. Get into the end zone, tie this thing up.
1st and 10 Raiders.
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you...
Under center, reverses out, gives it to Wilbert, right side, lowers his shoulder. Nice hard run down to about the 26-yard line for a pickup of about 5, maybe 6 yards.
And the first time all night, you saw all 5 offensive linemen for the Raiders 5 yards down the field. First time you see it all night long.
So 2nd and 5 for the Raiders. Football resting at the Panthers' 26-yard line with 7:49 left, 3rd quarter. Colgan the 7-0 lead, but Raiders a break.
Finally seen some emotion from the players on the Raiders side, getting a little pumped up out there.
Couple slots to the left. The single setback is Wilbert. And they give it the dive, and he busts inside the 20, and still on his feet, spins down inside the 15-yard line.
Well, good hard run because there was a free lineman up the middle, but just an arm tackle. Wilbert able to break that easily, gets into the secondary. Everything else blocked very well. Linebackers picked up even. So once he broke the tackle at the line, he had a lot of running room. Now's when you like to see him get in and out of that huddle quickly, and now some confusion, maybe one short or somebody not on the field correctly.
Got time as Alex Johnson comes in from the sideline, lines up in the tailback slot. Now he has the football, and he dances inside down near the 10-yard line, and gang tackled there after a pickup of about 4.
And good push again, and he gets right behind those linemen, keep his feet driving, falling forward. Came in for the play, one play just to give Wilbert a little bit of a break after the longer run that he had. Wilbert back in the game now.
2nd and 7, Raiders from the Panthers' 11-yard line.
And they just took Brown out of the game. I wonder if this is a little wildcat look that the Raiders are going to go with.
That's what they're going to go with is Jake Wilbert out of the Wildcat. Has 3 blockers from high snap again, and Wilbert lost
the ball.
He lost it, and the Panthers have the football. A penalty flag is out, maybe motion.
It may be a dead ball foul.
It is. What a break. What a break. Well, and that started with the high snap.
And again, another high snap just throws everything off. But the Raiders actually catch a break by committing a penalty.
So the mark off, and they'll be back at the outside the 10, about the 11-yard line, where they will face a 2nd and 12, from the 16. 2nd and 12, Frontenac from the Colgan 16 with 6:18 left, 3rd quarter. Colgan the 7-0 lead. Raiders on the move. Brown back in at quarterback under the center. Running backs line up in the eye behind him. And they fake the draw and rolling left, and a up for grabs, and the ball is knocked down. Good defensive effort. A flag is down. Are we going to get in the area of a hold? Yes, we are. Boy, that was almost picked off. It was up for grabs, but it looked like Connor Price went up with Brock Ginnivan, and the ball batted down, and now the Raiders going to be caught for the hold.
Yeah, and they do take it being just second down, so they go ahead and take the penalty and push the Raiders back even further.
So the Raiders now back at the 26-yard line.
That was kind of a tough call because Wilbert does the fake, on the play action, and the defensive lineman basically hits him to tackle him, and he just kind of stayed locked up with him to block him, and they call that a hold.
2nd and 22, Raiders from the Panthers' 26. So a lot of work to be done. High snap. Brown bobbles it, avoids the first wave, puts it up, and it is thrown up for grabs and intercepted right into the hands of Wilson.
Well, combination high snap, instant pressure, and then tries to throw back over the middle late and threw it basically right to Wilson. Tried to get it to the tight end down the field, but a poor decision there. But again, everything starts with that high snap.
So 1st and 10, Panthers. They start from their own 18-yard line with 5:34 left third quarter, and Colgan with the 7-0 lead. Now, apparently Ginnivan's shoe untied, and with the gloves on, can't tie it himself, so he's getting some help from Andrew Mays. Wide to the right, splits Trevor Graham, and the running backs out of the I formation behind Simmons, and there's a give. Wilson, right side, the tailback, cuts inside, and he is out across the 20, down about the 20. And the Raiders come up with the football, say they have it, that he coughed it up, and now they're arguing whether he's down. Now a penalty flag behind the play. Oh, my. We'll figure this out. Personal foul against Frontenac.
Yeah, and I believe this is on 33. Cooper Loy was in the backfield, and he was on top of one of the Colgan players and kind of gave an extra shove as he was getting up, and I think that's what they're calling the personal foul for.
Well, you can't do stuff like that, especially when you've been struggling like you have, give up that field position. Apparently it would have, well, it wouldn't matter if it was fumbled.
No, it was he called it a dead ball foul, so it sure would have.
1st and 10, Panthers, on their own 37-yard line. The scoreboard is out. That's always makes for a good time. Boy, the Raiders shooting themselves in the foot here.
And it's been the case most of the night, but boy, you finally get something going. You get the turnover on the bobble snap on the punt. You get something going on the ground. You've got a nice drive going, and then it just kind of implodes. All the momentum shifts directly back to Colgan. Add a penalty on their offensive play, and now Colgan's just got all the momentum back in their favor.
Now they're going to take an official's timeout to see what the deal is with the scoreboard. So I'm going to say there's about 5 minutes left third quarter, and Colgan leads 7-0. Official's timeout to see the problem with the scoreboard. Now Mark Smith from the sideline chewing on one of the officials. I don't think he thinks that it's been equitable. Let's just be kind, say equitable as far as the calls go.
Well, and he had a better look at whether that ball was a fumble or not than we did. So I would say he is pretty adamant that the ball was on the ground. Frontenac came up with it and not happy about it over on the far sideline.
So the scoreboard back on, 5:25 left third quarter, and Colgan a 7-0 lead. And so we're ready for football. Hopefully the scoreboard stays lit and we can go to the Panthers with a 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line. Yeah, the Raiders had something going, and then, boy, they went backwards, and the turnover once again has got fumble and interception. Really hurt him, the 4 turnovers at Galena the other night, and some more here this evening.
Yeah, if you count the blocked punt, that's three turnovers tonight.
So Panthers 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line. Getting the 3 running backs behind Simmons, who's under the center. And now some movement, but they didn't cross the line. There's a give to Wilson. He dances outside, gets a straight arm, and then he is dragged down out at the 45-yard line after a gain of about 7 yards.
You know, I know that's a 7-yard gain, but McDaniel makes a pretty nice play coming up from the corner spot, outsized mightily by the senior, and is able to go ahead and get around his waist and get him down on the ground. So good quality tackle, even though did give up some yards.
Yeah, 2nd and 2 for the Panthers from their own 46-yard line. Out wide right goes Trevor Graham, slot right. Villasegan, running backs in the eye. Bevilacqua, the fullback, the tailback. And there's a give to Bevilacqua, and he is chopped down after a gain of only a yard.
Yeah, Jordan Ishimura filling very quickly, getting into the legs. And, you know, that's where you've got to take this kid, but you still got to get him square in the legs. Ishimura filled the hole very nicely.
Cash Marietta in the Panthers' backfield now.
Oh, and they notice some blood on Ishimura, and he's going to have to come off on 3rd and 1. Your starting middle linebacker's got to come out of the game.
And Gage Clothier comes in. He's played quite a bit. Now a timeout. Give officials timeout to.
They're working on
Colgan.
A helmet in the Colgan huddle. Now, if Colgan's true to form, this should be quarterback sneak. You know, 3rd and short. That's what they've done pretty much all year so far.
4:14 left, 3rd quarter. Colgan 7, Frontenac nothing. 3rd and 1 Panthers from their own 47-yard line. Wide to right goes Marquardt. Slot right Bush. Running backs in the eye. Simmons the snap. They're going to keep it, and he is tackled back at the 45-yard line by Ginnivan. Wasn't fooled as Simmons was going to keep it, try to sneak around in, and he didn't get it, lost a couple.
Yeah, ran him down from the backside, and Strand had stoned the fullback up the middle. Surprised that, I tell you, Frontenac's defense that time, they filled both A-gaps to try to take that quarterback sneak away, so they run the option. Simmons makes a good decision and just gets caught from the backside.
3:33 left, 3rd quarter. Colgan 7, Frontenac nothing. 4th and 3 for the Panthers from their own 45. Again,
now they just had 12 in the huddle.
They're having trouble with the numbers, apparently. Oh, high snap. Oh, a nice play by Bush to get it. And the boy, end over end, turn around and
get away from it.
Chances. No, taking it on the run is Wilbert. He crosses midfield, 45, and down to the 42-yard line. A gutsy play by Wilbert, and the Raiders going to start 1st and 10 from the Panthers' 42.
Boy, you got that right. Gutsy, people all around, and he takes the ball on a hop on a full-speed sprint, turns it into a really nice play.
Nice effort by Bush on a high snap. Grabbed it with one hand, was able to get a kick away, end over end, short, but he did get it away. But nice effort by Wilbert and the Raiders. 1st and 10 from the Panthers' 42. See if this offense can get something going. Trips to the right, out of the gun, Brown with Lloyd, the blocking back. Good snap this time, rolling right. Good block by Lloyd. Pressed outside, forces it into Ginnivan, and it's complete, and he avoids the first tackler, and he's down to the 30-yard line. Boy, it takes an extra shove or two there, and apparently the official there did not see that after a gain of 12.
Yeah, nice play, good rollout, and Loy with another good block did well as he started to disengage, didn't hold. Brown on the run, rolling to his right, easier to throw, but makes a nice strike onto the sideline to Ginnivan.
1st and 10. Raiders from the Panthers' 30-yard line. Now in for the Raiders is Grant Hessong. He splits wide left, joined out there by Kate Chastain. Running backs in the eye this time. There's a give. That is Alex Johnson. He is inside the 30. Oh, man, a penalty flag behind the play. And, boy, oh, boy, they're seeing a hold on every play now. This is getting silly. Nice gain on 1st down, and, boy, negated by another hold. So it'll be a 1st down and 20 for the Raiders from the Panthers' 40. Just have to come back and see if they can keep moving the ball. That was a nice run by Alex Johnson, but all for naught. Trips to the left side, out of the gun, round to throw, hitch to Ginnivan. Another penalty flag down. What did he see? Was it downfield?
Oh, it's another hold.
Oh, this.
It's another hold.
Oh, boy. So the Raiders going to face a 1st and 30 from midfield.
This is getting comical.
This is the White Hats throwing his share. The guy in front of the Panther bench has thrown his share, and I think Mark Smith's been displeased and has been chewing on the official in front of their bench over at that side because they're seeing something there, and I don't know. So let's see. With 2:10 left, third quarter, Colgan leading Frontenac 7-0. With trouble setting up, Wilbert a little confused.
Oh, he moved the ball. The center moved the ball.
Another penalty. Yeah, you can't. This is getting ridiculous.
Well, that's at least a legitimate penalty for sure.
1st and 35 now for the Raiders from their own 45-yard line. Well, now what do you have for 1st and 35 from your own 45? What are we going to do? Hope we don't get a penalty called.
I have no idea, but more than likely we'll be going backwards again.
Wide left goes Ginneman. Wilbert, slot left. Wide right is Shamira. Slot right is Roseboro. Out of the gun. Oh, they're moving.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
But that's
1st and 40 for the Raiders from their own 40-yard line.
You know, that's everybody. That, to me, that's the center.
And I think they kind of, something was said, and the center put his hands up like, getting a little gun shy now. 1st and 40 for the Raiders from their own 40-yard line. Down 7-0 with a minute 47 remaining. Now we got a fairly new center in there. Is that
Ishimura?
Jordan
Ishimura
is going to try to center. See what we got here. With the first. Good snap. Looking, got a man in the flat. That's Loy, and he makes the catch, but he's going to be stopped for only a gain of maybe a yard.
Well, and it almost looked like the line was gun shy on trying to pass block, figuring they're going to get called for holding, so they didn't maintain their blocks very long, and ended up getting some pressure. But right now the corners and safety, the safety's lined up 25 yards downfield. The corners are given about a 10-yard cushion right away, so the only thing that's really going to be open would probably be something underneath.
2nd and 39 for the Raiders from their own 41-yard line. Low snap, pitch. Wilbert tries to turn the corner, has some room, and he is brought down at midfield, so a nice gain of about 10 on that one.
We're close on that pitch, almost deflected, and then made me nervous on the outside. Cooper Loy getting a block, and boy, it looked like it could have been close to being a hold as well. Surprised this group didn't call it.
So a 3rd and 30 for the Raiders from midfield. Shamir comes wide right. Wilbert slot right. Ginneman wide left. Boy, Bush way back there at safety, making sure nobody gets behind him. Rolling to the right, some pressure. Brown puts it up, and it is overthrown and picked off by Bush as it was intended for Wilbert, and he comes down about the 21-yard line.
Well, in fairness on this one, he had to get rid of the ball, but this is going to end up pretty much just as good as a punt. More than likely, if the Raiders don't gain any yards and they punt it, they're probably not going to do any better than what the interception does right there. In my mind, not that bad of a throw. Throw it up there, see if your senior player can go up and make a play. This one just a little too high, but it does end up just as good as a punt.
1st and 10 for the Panthers from their own 22-yard line with 4 seconds left, third quarter. Colgan the 7-0 lead,
and amazingly, it's still just 7-0.
True. Very true. Wide left, that is Graham. Running backs out of the eye behind Simmons. Defense back out there. There's the dive to the freshman fullback, and he is stopped at about the 25-yard line. That's the end of the third quarter. We head to the fourth quarter. Colgan leads Frontenac 7-0, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to high school football on 103.5 FM.
Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing can tow all cars, trucks, and some semi-tractors and trailers. repairing and painting from certified technicians for all major and minor repair jobs, and they can deal directly with the insurance companies, taking the stress out of your life. Go to BarrettBodyFrame.com or stop in and see them at 1601 East 27th Street Terrace or call 232-9400. That's Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing. Customer service first. See them fast in names and numbers.
Does your current checking account pay you up to $15 per month? With Common Sense Checking at University Bank, you earn up to $50 per statement cycle, 10 cents for each swipe after the first 15 swipes. Qualifying is so easy. Simply have one direct deposit or auto payment plus 15 debit card purchases each statement cycle and a $100 opening deposit. Stop by the bank for more information about our Common Sense Checking. Then swipe and save. It's convenience that pays at University Bank. Branch GMB. Member FDIC.
Rob Strand, Randy Southard back at Hutchfield in Pittsburgh. Last quarter, Colgan leads Frontenac 7-0. Panthers with the football, 2nd and 7 from their own 25-yard line as Della Sega splits wide left. Running backs again in the eye. Simmons under the center. There's the keep. And now the pitch. It's behind Wilson. It's on the ground. He's able to pick it up, and he's thrown back around the 12-yard line.
And Ginnivan chasing it down from the backside again. Hits Simmons as he's trying to pitch the ball. It was a little high and a little bit behind Wilson. Was able to get a hand on it and knock it up in the air. Luckily for Colgan, Wilson able to get on the ball. Johnson, though, good job coming up and making a sure tackle so that it's a big loss for Colgan.
3rd and 18 for the Panthers from their own 14-yard line. Down to 11:28 remaining, and the Panthers with that 7-0 lead. Bush is out wide to the left. Again, the running back's out of the eye. Simmons under the center. Looks like some movement there. No call. They try the trap to mark right, and he busted loose for a little bit, got across the 20. Boy, it looked like motion over there, and they didn't call it.
It absolutely, the slot back moved. He twitched. No call. But good job. I mean, gave up some yards on 3rd and long on the running play, but it's going to set up the 4th down. Frontenac's going to get the ball back.
So a punting situation. And they've had some problems here on the snaps as Bush back to punt. Back to receive the kick is Wilbert. And he will put his foot to it just outside the 5-yard line. A snap better, some pressure. Gets it away. Nice punt, but returnable. Wilbert at his own 45. Crosses midfield. Splits the defender, loses the football, and I believe the Panthers got it. They did.
Well, I was just about to say it's a really nice return. Turned it up, got what he could. Took one last shot trying to fight for an extra yard, and the ball squirted right out. Another turnover, and the Panthers will take over the ball.
No, now we're back to where we were last Friday with the 4 turnovers. This time a couple of fumbles and 2 interceptions, and boy, that has been a killer. 1st and 10 Panthers. They'll start from their own 42-yard line with 10:21 remaining, and Colgan up 7-0. And an injured player down on the field, and I can't say that I saw it was on the punt coverage. It's down about the midfield, and I
believe that's Garrett Bollinger.
Bollinger, yes. And, one of their linemen, who goes both ways, had a nice game, and he is down and really didn't see anything. It doesn't look like it's really of the cramp variety, just judging by the way the doctor's looking, but. Tell you what, they've taken a timeout. Why don't we take about a 30-second break, and you're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins with SEK Urgent Care. When you're sick, when you're injured, or when you just don't feel like yourself, SEK Urgent Care is here for you. Let our skilled providers treat your non-life-threatening illness or injury at a fraction of the time and cost of an ER visit. Located at the corner of Centennial and Broadway in the Meadowbrook Commons. Open 7 days a week for your convenience. SEK Urgent Care, where your family and time matter. Find us fast in names and numbers.
Marone's Food Service Incorporated wishes the best of luck to all area athletic teams this season. It has been their pleasure to provide great quality food products to area schools, colleges, and universities in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Marone's Food Service is proud to be a 4th-generation family-owned and operated business with over 80 years of service to their customers, employees, families, and communities. Good luck to all area teams from Maroons.
First and 10 for the Panthers from their own 42. Simmons keeps it right side. He'll pick up about 4 yards. The Panthers will face a 2nd and 6 from their own 46-yard line.
Yeah, ran the option this time, keeping it, turning up, and Ryan Rayo in the game and came up from the safety position to make that play.
2nd and 6 Panthers. Football shy their own 46-yard line. As wide to the left goes Graham. Tight to the right is Bush. Slot left Marquardt. Running backs again in the eye. Simmons reverses out, gives it to Wilson, the tailback. He busts through, and he's brought down by Rayo, but not till he gets in the Raider territory at the 49. No, they're going to mark him back at the Panthers' 49.
And the official on the far side of the field marked this thing back about 2 yards.
So the Panthers a big 3rd and about 3 from their own 49-yard line. Now to 9:09 remaining. Colgan with that 7-0 lead. Only touchdown scored with 11:26 remaining on the first half. A 21-yard touchdown run by Panthers quarterback Cade Simmons. Norndert added the extra point. That's the only points. So big 3rd down here near midfield. 3 running backs behind the quarterback Simmons. Wilson has got the first down. Go through some tacklers down to the Raiders' 45-yard line.
Yeah, the Raiders got some penetration, but just missed him. Didn't just happen to run into him when they got the penetration. Left a hole on that left side of the offensive line, able to convert.
Panthers 1st and 10. Football resting just inside the Raiders' 45-yard line, and now we're down to 8:40 remaining. So the clock becoming a factor, and the way the Raiders' offense is gone, it's a big factor now. You almost need to have a big play on a turnover or something like that. Wide to the right is Bush. Slot right, Marquardt. Tight to the left, that is Graham. There's a give. This time Simmons going to keep. And, boy, I'll tell you what, he did well to pick up about 3 yards. It was pretty well defended.
Yeah, Johnson coming up, filling nicely, taking the quarterback. Mays working his way down the line, got in on that as well. Again, well defended, but still falling forward, so he still picks up 2 or 3.
So 2nd, 8 Panthers. Football resting at the 43 of the Raiders. Again, wide to the right goes Bush. Slot left, Della Sega. Backs in the eye. So we can get a stop here, making him a 3rd and long. Simmons, the give. That's the fullback.
Good play.
Lockwood, and brought down about the 41-yard line after gain of a couple.
Nathan Kaufman, middle linebacker, read this play immediately and just shot forward, got into the legs because there was a hole, but he gets into the legs and makes a really nice play from that linebacker spot. Just a really good read.
3rd and 6 for the Panthers from the Raiders' 41 with 7:19 remaining, and Colgan with that 7-0 lead. There's a big 3rd down right here, and I'm assuming, well, I don't know. I don't know if this be 4-down territory or not. We shall see what they get right here. Simmons under the center. Gives it to Wilson, the tailback. And, boy, they had him ball loose. And it's recovered.
No call yet.
They saw the ball pop. They were going to say he was down.
They're going to say he was down.
I had to see the ball up there. It should have been a little demonstrative of whether he was down or not.
When now, though, 4th and yard and a half. It wouldn't shock me if they go for it here.
I think for sure they'll go for it. Also in that territory where you could try and draw them off, but I don't think with the punting struggles they've had that they would risk that at this juncture. They think they can get a 1.5 yards. But it baffles me that ball pops in the air and there's just no reaction from the Raiders. Get it, and the officials stand there and do nothing. Simmons under the center. Gives it, dive. Bevilacqua, he got stood up. I don't know that he made it.
Well, it's close. I think
he did.
He's got
this guy,
it.
if you're on the near side, who shouldn't have the spot, he would have a better idea over on the other side.
I think he's got it, but just maybe by the length of the football.
Well, that was very...
But again, that's a case where the runner's able to spin and kind of fall forward and get that extra yard and a half. And this one converts a big 4th down.
1st and 10 Panthers now at the Raiders' 34-yard line, down to 5:58 remaining. Colgan nursing that 7-0 lead, and boy, they're going to have some big play, a turnover or something for the Raiders. Any hope here? It's getting clock winding down to 5:45. Backs out of the eye. Simmons going to keep it straight up the middle, and he's still able to get about 4 yards now. Well, about 31, maybe 3 yards.
Boy, and he bobbled that snap as well.
Raiders have the 4 turnovers again, just the one for the Panthers, and kind of ill-advised they were passing the end zone there when they were on the move. But
well, they put the ball on the ground a few times, but have been able to get back on it, unlike the Raiders. When they've fumbled, they've given it up.
2nd and 7. Panthers from the Raiders' 31-yard line. With 5:09 remaining, Colgan leading 7-0. Panthers going to be content to get about 3 yards at a time here and keep that clock moving. Simmons, that time they give it to Wilson, nothing doing as he's brought down after a gain of a yard to the 30 as Jake Wilbert's the penetration.
Yeah, nice play coming up. Not really worried about the pass at all, so that free safety coming up really quickly. Good form tackle into the legs.
3rd and 6, Panthers from the Raiders' 30-yard line, down to 4:39. Clock's moving. Colgan with the 7-0 lead. Panthers taking their time. Now this shapes up to be a real, well, this has got to be 4-down situation down here.
Oh, absolutely.
Bush wide to the right. Marquardt slot left. Backs out of the eye. They go with the power football. No, looking to throw is dropping back is Simmons, and he's pushed off. He pushed off.
He absolutely pushed off.
You got to be kidding. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's no question.
Pathetic. That's pathetic.
No question of push off by Bush,
pathetic.
But he gets away with it. Give him the touchdown. It's really good coverage by Ishimura. He's in great position to make a play on the ball. Bush put 2 hands on him and gave him a push. No call.
You have got to be kidding. That is. So the swinging gate, and boy, that was blatantly obvious. The official in front of the Panthers bench wasn't going to call anything against him, and he proved it right there. That kick is up. A flag is finally down over on the far side, and the kick was no good. How long was that pass?
Probably around the 30-yard line, I would say. So about a 30-yard pass.
And the extra point attempt fails. 4:11 remaining. Colgan leads 13-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to high school football on 103.5 FM.
If you're in the mood for shopping, visit Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. Pittsburgh's original one-stop shopping center has a lot to offer. A great variety of clothing and shoes for the whole family, a large selection of gifts, sporting goods, events, and entertainment, plus terrific places to eat, and you can enjoy the newest movies in 8 theaters. Shop the comfortable and convenient atmosphere at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. There's always something happening at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall.
Advanced technology, comprehensive quality care. That's Canar Eye Care. We have the newest technology, but we never lose sight of what's most important, our patients. Eye care has changed dramatically in recent years, and we've been there for you every step of the way. At Canar Eye Care, patients spend time with doctors. Total eye care from contact lenses, including bifocal contacts, treatment of disease, and surgical co-management. Canar Eye Care, the clear choice.
Find them fast in names and numbers. Jocksnitch has all your hometown needs to get you geared up for the football game. New Pitt State gear has already arrived, such as hats, tees, sweatshirts, license plates, koozies, and even tees for your dog. We are your stop to make before headed to tailgate. There's only one Gorilla Nation, and there's only one Gorilla Gear headquarters, Jocksnitch Sporting Goods. Check us out in downtown Pittsburgh and Park.
You got the sports look of the day. Sporting goods from Jocksnitch.
Alex Johnson on the return for the Frontenac Raiders brings it out to the 42-yard line. The Raiders will start 1st and 10 from their own 42 with 4:04 remaining, and Colgan a 13-0 lead.
Well, not that Frontenac's been able to run the ball very well tonight anyway, but you figure this all got to be through the air at this point.
Out of the gun is Brown. Wide out left is Ishamira. Now they're having confused setting up. A couple of wide outs right. Brown to throw. Goes long to Ginneman, who is open, and falls incomplete near midfield.
Yeah, just led him a little too far to the sideline. Ginneman not able to catch up with it. Had some space over there. Colgan's corners playing well off. Just not going to give up the big play. Willing to give up the short throw. Planning on their corners being able to come up and make a tackle and just waste some time. They'll allow some yards, but they want that clock to run off.
2nd and 10, Raiders from their own 42-yard line. Hesson comes wide left, wide right Ginneman, slot right, that's Wilbert. Single blocking back with Brown. That is Clothier. Rolling right is Brown, puts it up, and it is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Brock Ginneman, down at the 44.
Well, and it was Cal Marquardt in coverage, and Brown made a really nice throw, really over top of Marquardt. But Marquardt able to jump up and I think distract Ginnevan a little bit. Not able to secure the catch. Would have been a first down.
So 3rd and 10 for the Raiders from their own 42-yard line. Ishamir goes wide right. Also joined out there by Wilbert. Roseboro. Wide to left is Ginnevan. Out of the gun, Brown swings it left side, and that is Clothier caught it and dropped the football, and I believe Harris got on the fumble.
Yeah, and it was definitely a fumble. Had the ball, took a couple steps, put it on the ground. Harris alert, able to jump on it and save possession. But now it's 4th down and 12 from your own 40-yard line.
Yep. 3:36 down 13-0. I guess this is 4-down territory.
Had no choice.
Ishamir goes wide right. Wilbert joins him out there. Wide to left is Ginnevan. Again out of the gun. Clothier, the blocking back. Rolling right is Brown. Forced to scramble, puts it up. He's got to complete throw. He dropped it.
He was going to be short of the first down anyway. Really had no choice but to throw it to Roseboro in that situation. But he was going to be tackled about 4 yards short of the first down, even if he holds on to the ball.
So that's a nail in the coffin there. You know, if it was 7-0, that's a different story. But call like that, and you're down 13-0. That's takes the air out of the balloon. But you know, the Raiders just basically a no-show here tonight.
I would tend to absolutely agree. And they haven't gotten a lot of help from the officials, but that's not the cause of the score of this game by far. Colgan has well outplayed the Raiders tonight without question. The score, quite frankly, should be a whole lot more than 13-0.
So 1st and 10 for the Panthers from the Raiders' 41-yard line. And I'm sure they're just going to be content to slam it between the guards and the tackles up there and just see if they can keep that clock moving. Wilson tripped up, Calstrand, and their good penetration stop, and we end up falling forward for about a yard.
Yeah, and the Raiders are going to go ahead and start using their timeouts.
And a timeout taken by the Raiders. 3:06 remaining. Colgan leads Frontenac 13-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
Having a confident smile can change everything, and Invisalign makes that decision easy because you can have a stunning smile without most people even knowing you're going through treatment. Saya Smile Center is proud to be a premier provider of Invisalign. Your Invisalign treatment will consist of a series of aligners that you switch out every 2 weeks. Each aligner will gradually shift your teeth perfectly into place, giving you the smile you always dreamed of. Call Saya Smile Center today for your no-cost consultation. Saya Smile Center, 4095 Parkview Drive in Frontenac, 620-231-7242.
Rob Strandback with Randy Southard. Hutchfield in Pittsburgh, the final 3 minutes, 6 seconds. And Colgan with a 13-0 lead, and the Panthers with the football is 2nd and 9 from the Raiders' 40-yard line. Yes, Frontenac takes the timeout. They will have a couple more remaining, I believe. And, see if they can get a stop and make something happen here late in the waning moments. 2nd and 9, Panthers from the Raiders 40. There's a give to the tailback Wilson, and boy, he is cut down. And nice effort there. Was that Kaufman?
Kaufman, absolutely.
Yeah, and there's a guy who, you know, had designs on playing some of that linebacker, but I think they stuck him elsewhere, and he's had a few little health issues, tweaks, but
yeah.
I think they've been forced to put him in there, and he's very capable. You may see him in there more after his performance here tonight. He's able to stop Wilson for, well, no gain, actually, and the Panthers going to face a 3rd and 9 from the Raiders 40 with 3:02 remaining. So,
yeah, since Kaufman came in, really the inside runs, he has read stuff and been very aggressive and really coming downhill and making some plays. Kaufman has played very well. Ginnivan actually on defensive lines had a real nice game tonight too. Been in the backfield all night long, chasing plays down from the backside. I give those two a lot of credit. And, you know, you got to figure too, you only give up 13 points. That's not so bad. You figure your offense can score more than 13, but just the defense has been on the field. Really, the offense has just done absolutely nothing tonight.
So a 3rd and 9, Panthers from the Raiders 40-yard line. I can't imagine they would pass with the risk of an incompletion stopping the clock, but we shall see. 3 backs behind Simmons. Under center, reverses out. No, he's going to keep it. Try to turn the right corner. Boy, he has room, and he breaks a tackle, and now he cuts inside, and he could go. That is Simmons. Has one man to beat Ishamir, and he's going to beat him into the end zone.
Well, I tell you, it's a really good play call, though, because, you know, they run the same power, but they fake it. He goes around the end. The entire defense is sucked up underneath, you know, in the middle. And now Simmons, who's a good, strong kid, now all he has is a couple of smaller, younger defensive backs to beat, and he beats them easily for a touchdown to really seal the deal for sure.
And the extra point attempt coming up, the swinging gate as Marquardt to hold and Orender to kick. As the Panthers stretching it out now, trying to stretch it to 20-0. And a good snap, some pressure, and it is good. So Orender on the extra point, and the Panthers pitching a shutout, leading at 20-0 with 2:49 remaining. And we'll take a 30-second break. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
Paynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist. Paynes handles all driveline repairs for cars, trucks, four-wheel drive vehicles, and farm equipment. Paynes can also handle any general machine work and offers 24-hour wrecker service. Call Paynes anytime, 231-3170. Paynes Incorporated is located at the intersection of West McKay and Highway 69 Frontenac Junction. Paynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist.
Proud supporter of Frontenac Athletics.
No one wants to file for bankruptcy, but a wage garnishment can make it hard to pay the rent, pay the pharmacy, or even feed the family.
Not once.
Not once. Families cope with unfortunate and unforeseen financial hardship.
Not once.
Over the counter, 620-61-5620 for a consultation to find out if bankruptcy is the right choice for you and your family. Call today. Wilbert and Towner, a full-service law firm, 620-231-5620. We are a debt relief agency, helping people find the relief they need in bankruptcy.
Rob Strand, Randy Southard back at touch field, and the kickoff by the Panthers is covered by the Raiders back at their own 32-yard line with 2:49 remaining, and Colgan leads it 20-0. They stretched it out, a long pass, playing a long run, and Panthers going to leave with 2-1 record, and the Raiders are going to fall 1-2 and have to regroup as they will play host to Riverton next Friday. 1st and 10, Raiders. They'll start from their own 32-yard line. Brown out of the gun, rolling right, puts it up, throws behind the intended receiver, Wilbert. Also in the area was Ishamir, but it falls incomplete.
and rolled out into some pressure that time. Had one good lead block, but there was 2 defenders out there, so had to hurry the throw a little bit. Kind of threw it behind Wilbert, and boy, for a second thought it might have been another turnover.
2nd and 10, Raiders from their own 32-yard line with just 2:45 remaining, and Colgan that 20-0 lead. Wide left comes Ginnivan, wide right goes Ishimura. A little confusion as Rayo goes out to the right side. Also Roseboro that way. Lloyd the blocking back for Brown. Thinks of a swing pass, gives it to Roseboro, and he makes a catch, and he's wrestled down about the 37-yard line after a gain of about 5, maybe 6.
Well, good choice, and Roseboro just sitting down in the middle of that zone between the linebackers, and a good zip throw right into him. And this time Roseboro able to hold on to it, secure that one.
3rd and 4, Raiders from their own 38-yard line, down to 2:15 remaining. Trips left. One blocking back, Loy for Brown. He's pressured, throws it up into a crowd, and it's batted by a defender and up for grabs and falls incomplete.
Well, really tried to squeeze that one in. 3 defenders around it, and actually almost managed to drop that thing right in like a teardrop.
Guessing we're going 4-down territory here. With 2:05 remaining, down 20-0, 4th and 4 from your own 38-yard line. Trips to the left. Ginnivan, Rayo, along with Ishimura, rolling left, putting it up. Oh man, Marquardt saw it, intended for Ginnivan and undercut the play. Almost had the pick, just couldn't find the handle.
I think he had visions of a pick 6, which he would have had he caught the ball. I think he was already thinking about running into the end zone and celebrating, didn't quite catch it. But regardless, the ball will get turned over on downs. Colgan will take over. 2 minutes to go on the clock. I think they'll run plays here, but should just be straight up the middle, and 1 first down should end it.
Panthers 1st and 10 from the Raiders, 38-yard line. 2 minutes left, and Colgan up 20-0. Bevilacqua, the fullback, the tailback is Wilson behind Simmons. Simmons gives it just the dive to the big guy, Bevilacqua, and he is brought down at the 35. That's pickup of about 3 unofficially for Bevilacqua. 15 carries, 51 yards. The freshman fullback's had a nice night.
Much more in the first half. He was a real problem in the first half. Raiders, much better job defensively in the second half, shutting the dive down. Just been some big plays otherwise that's really hurt him here in the second half.
2nd and 7 for the Panthers from the Raiders, 35 with clock moving, 1:27 remaining, and Colgan the 20-0 lead. Sega goes wide to the right. Again, the running backs in the eye with Bevilacqua, the fullback, Wilson, the tailback. Simmons, the quarterback, gives it dive, again, the big guy, and he falls forward for a gain of a couple, and just adding some of those numbers, and we're down to 1:05 remaining, and again, the Panthers are going to go to 2-1, and plays host to Columbus next week, and the Raiders going to fall to 1-2 and entertain Riverton next Friday at homecoming. So I guess the Raiders going to have the way this looks playing Thursday night, you got an extra day to stew about this one, and just maybe want to get away from it for a day and regroup. They're chicken kneel, and that's going to do it. Simmons takes a knee, and that's going to end it as the Frontenac Raiders fall to the Colgan Panthers by a score of 20-0 as the clock's winding down. And big win for the Panthers over the Raiders. As you will go to the preseason poll if you believe in those things. The Raiders were picked 3rd, and I think Panthers may have been right behind them. In any event, St. Mary's Colgan Panthers knock off the Frontenac Raiders 20-0, and we'll be back with the unofficial stats, scoring summary, and talk to Coach Mark Smith after a 2-minute break. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
At Lindbergh Pharmacy, we care about your health. From a qualified and caring staff to services like our Time My Meds and MedPack programs, Lindbergh Pharmacy provides personalized service you can count on. Refill prescriptions online at lindberghpharmacy.com or on your smartphone with our free Lindbergh Pharmacy mobile app. You can also sign up for our text alert program, and we'll text or email you when your prescription is ready. Can't make it to us? We'll deliver your medications right to your door. Lindbergh Pharmacy, now 2 locations to serve you.
When you get engaged and need to pay for the wedding, when you have a baby and need to start that college savings account, it seems like the best moments in life can come with some real financial challenges. What's yours? At Commerce Bank, we find solutions so you can focus on enjoying life. Visit us online at commercebank.com or at a branch near you. Commerce Bank, challenge accepted. Member FDIC.
The City of Frontenac is a proud supporter of Frontenac High School athletics and academics. The City of Frontenac was founded in 1886 and is home to just over 3,100 residents. Frontenac citizens enjoy a small-town atmosphere and all that a close-knit community has to offer. Situated on the crossroads of 2 major highways, those living in Frontenac can easily travel and enjoy the amenities of larger cities in a shorter travel distance. The community boasts an outstanding school system, low taxes, complete city services, including 24-hour police and fire protection. Good luck, Raiders, from the mayor, city council, and staff.
If you are injured in an accident or on the job, it is vitally important that you hire the right attorney. Before choosing an attorney, you should make sure they have the resources to fight large corporations or insurance companies. Your attorney should have extensive trial court experience and a track record of success. The Spigarelli Law Firm, with offices in Pittsburgh and Coffeyville, has the experience, resources, and reputation to provide the quality representation your claim deserves. Fred Spigarelli has received the top rating from his peers with the Martindale-Hubbell Independent Rating System. His firm has the resources to hire the experts and physicians needed to properly present your claim. The Spigarelli Law Firm has successfully tried cases for over 40 years and taken numerous cases all the way to the Supreme Court. Call the Spigarelli Law Firm today at 877-409-7931 or visit their website at spigarelli-law.com. You can also find them fast in names and numbers. Be sure to get reliable information when you choose an attorney to represent you.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard at Hutchfield in Pittsburgh, where the Colgan Panthers have shut out the Frontenac Raiders by a score of 20-0. And let's see if Coach Mark Smith's going to come up. I'm sure he will for a few post-game comments. I know he's really got to be frustrated after this one, this shutout loss. We'll go over the scoring summary. We went through a scoreless first quarter. Colgan scored its first touchdown with 11:26 remaining in the first half at a 21-yard run by quarterback Cade Simmons. Oranger tacked on the extra point. It was Colgan 7, Frontenac nothing with 11:26 remaining in the first half. That was a halftime score, 7-0. Went through a scoreless third quarter. Then in the fourth quarter, well, with 4:11 remaining, a 30-yard touchdown pass from Simmons to Bush. The extra point failed. It was Colgan 13, Frontenac nothing with 4:11 remaining. Then with 2:49 remaining, the nail in the coffin. 40-yard touchdown run by Cade Simmons. Oranger good on the extra point. It was Colgan 20, Frontenac nothing with 2:49 remaining. Ends up 20-0, and the Raiders just couldn't get anything going. And just one of those nights, you know, I guess you got to just brush it aside. Bad thing they said, like you got an extra day to dwell on it before you got to go home and play 1 week from tomorrow night at home against Riverton for homecoming.
Yeah, I don't know if I were coach how exactly I'd handle this one. You know, it's really completely done. Give all the credit in the world to the Colgan Panthers tonight. They came out and played really good, hard-nosed football and really, quite frankly, just whipped Frontenac all night. This game, it should have been even more than 20-0, quite frankly. Offense anemic for Frontenac. Defense just on the field way too long. Missed tackles in the first half were a killer. Second half better for Frontenac on defense. Couple big plays. Of course, one touchdown pretty questionable and a push off on the long pass play. But still, give Colgan all the credit in the world. If you're Frontenac, you just got to go home, lick your wounds, and get ready because, you know, earlier in the year, the way things are going right now, earlier in the year, I would have said that, you know, Riverton would be a relatively easy game for us. The way things are going now, got to regroup.
Yes, indeed. And again, the Panthers shut out the Raiders by a score of 20-0. And the fans out on the field, the Panther fans enjoying this one. And joining me is Frontenac Raiders coach Mark Smith. And boy, there's not a whole lot you can say about this one here tonight. 20-0 shutout by Colgan. And boy, really got through that scoreless first quarter. Nice run by their quarterback, gave them a lead at half, and then toward the end there, they tacked on a couple more. But it was one of those of just really couldn't get anything going offensively, and the defense on the field a long time.
Way too much. That's why they got tired in the fourth quarter and gave up a few plays. I thought our defense gave us a chance again. Our offense just isn't clicking. We just got to be better in practice. We got to win the line of scrimmage. We didn't do that again tonight. We had way too many penalties. Colgan played, I thought, harder than us, which is it's on me. We got to play harder, and we just got to be playing better and smarter.
Yeah, and we were talking about how the offensive was struggling. They keep that defense on the field, especially warm, humid, and there's just no letting up. But you had to keep battling them. It looked to me like they're after about middle of the second quarter on, the defense was making pretty good stops on their running game there, where they were pounding it there and had the big fullback and everything. But it looks like they made some adjustments and were bowing up a little, doing better.
They did. They kept getting a few extra hard-earned yards on those veer plays. We were running it right, and we were getting in those situations. We just couldn't get off the field. But our offense has got to get some first downs, keep our defense off the field, and get better field position, because our defense was on the field way too much. And once again, it was 7-0, and we had chances that third quarter to punch it in and tie it, and we had too many penalties and mistakes. So we just got to clean things up and keep getting better, because it really doesn't matter until district. We just got to keep working hard.
And you got a lot of kids on the field tonight. I noticed some of the kids in there, and that's always important down the line to get some of those younger kids in there, and some perform pretty well.
Yeah, I thought Brant Chance played tremendous in his first start at the corner. Made a big play there. Got a pick to keep us 7-0. A few other guys. I thought our D-line played extremely hard.
Having a confident smile can change everything, and Invisalign makes that decision easy, because you can have a stunning smile without most people even knowing you're going through treatment. Saya Smile Center is proud to be a premier provider of Invisalign. Your Invisalign treatment will consist of a series of aligners that you switch out every 2 weeks. Each aligner